What are the two charities? Okay, thank you.
Hello, Scribblers! And welcome back! It is the final day of Scribbler Hug 2022! I am so excited, and I hope you are too. I am here once again with some absolutely fantastic friends who are... Oh, hello, Tim! Hello from... Holy smokes! It is early where you are, PST? Hot dog! So we are here getting ready for our first event of the day, a Redigo one-shot. I am super excited for this, and I'm super excited to have these wonderful creators and gamers and inspiring storytellers around the virtual tabletop with us today. I will be lurking in the background. I'm going in production mode for this one, so you're not gonna see my face too much for this stream, but I at least wanted to be here for the welcome and to give you some quick updates for our charity fundraising. So through the night, we have not only passed that 300 mark for both charities, for War Child and Become, but now we're even past that 350 mark, thanks to some absolutely fantastic and generous donations. So we are going to get started with not one, but two giveaways. So we'll do them in sequence, so you know which prizes you're actually going to be winning. So as promised, as announced during the Color My Quest one-shot yesterday, we are going to be giving away a free copy of Color My Quest for this first contest. And we are now going to continue that celebration with starting to plan a sequel to our Color My Quest adventure that we embarked upon yesterday. So maybe we got a little bit sidetracked with the sticky bandits and the honey mallows and the giant bees and singing songs horribly. Who was doing that? Not me. And we are going to hopefully maybe actually find the dragon this time. So we are going to start that planning and bring that to you in the new year after the holidays, after everything has calmed down and everyone's recovered from the festivities of the year. So with that, I want to go ahead and get us started with that giveaway. Once that is done, we're going to let that run for about 10-15 minutes or so. Then we're going to hop back in, or I'll be in the chat to announce the next giveaway. And we're actually going to be then sharing a copy of this game, of Redigo, hosted by our actual creator of the game himself, David, up here next to me. So that is going to be the second giveaway. But for now, please ready your keyboards or phones, whatever device you are using. Enter Scribbler Hug. Hashtag Scribbler Hug. One word, as shown at the top of this screen on the overlay, to enter for your chance to win a copy of Color My Quest. We're going to keep that rolling. Let's keep this hype train going. And please remember to continue to share those Tiltify pages. War Child and Become are such amazing causes, helping children around the world through the different difficulties. So War Child, I'll give that little reminder here. War Child aims to protect, educate, and stand up for the rights of children caught up in conflict, not just when they are actively in conflict zones, but throughout the phases of recovery and reintegration. This organization has people in Ukraine right now meeting with children and their families directly to ensure they have the things that they need to continue their education and play, so that they are in safe environments where they can continue to grow in spite of the horrors of war. So Warchild is doing amazing work. We had a fantastic exclusive Q&A with one of the representatives at the very start of the event a couple of days ago. Please keep sharing that Tiltify page. However, if you are not in a financial position to be able to donate to the Tiltify page right now, not to worry, because Warchild also partners with artists in the music industry. They have their own record label, and they have a Spotify holiday playlist that is out there live right now, full of fantastic indie and alt-rock holiday tunes. Every stream of the songs in that playlist will passively generate funds for the organization for the cause. So I've dropped that link in there as well. And of course, we can't continue on without also talking about our second charity partner, Become. Become focuses on ensuring that children who spend time in the care system, whether in children's homes or foster care or having to be removed from their birth homes to relatives' homes for any reason, to ensure that they have the same chance to lead happy and fulfilling lives as those who are able to remain in their birth homes. They have community outreach, engagement, influencing policymakers, mental health support, a whole range of different services that really spans across all aspects of a community. And they have even brought together a community of gamers called the Become Players. So we are now part of that community by nature of Scribbler Hug and working with them. And the representatives, the friends we've made at Become and Warchild alike have been so excited to see the amazing passion and generosity from the TTRPG family. And I am so proud to be part of this family. So thank you everyone for your continued support. Keep putting that hashtag Scribbler Hug in the chat for the giveaway. Like I said, gonna keep that going for 10-15 minutes. But I think I've spoken enough. I think that's good. I've rambled on quite a bit now, so I am going to back away behind the curtain and be the production monkey behind the scenes and pass things over to our fantastic cast here. So, with that, everyone, have a wonderful time. I'll be hanging out in chat, and I hope you enjoy this game. David, over to you. Let's hear some introductions. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bloop. Haha. Disembodied voice.
Okay. Cool. So I guess I'm the guide for today. So I'll start us off with introducing myself. Hopefully, very briefly. I'm David, and I live in India right now. Formerly, I lived in China for many years, but I was born in the U.S. and I'm a teacher. I used to teach in various institutions, but now I kind of do my own thing. And I use mainly, I could talk all day about it, but I will not, I promise. I mainly use Redigo. Previously, I experimented with lots of other games, but I use Redigo to teach all kinds of things, from logical thinking to creative writing and everything in between. Social empathy, everything. And that's like my job now. So I'm really excited about that, and I love it. And this is my first time streaming ever. I'm kind of still new to the whole internet social media thing, but I want to join this community too. So that's exciting. So we'll be talking more about our game and our story for today, and what is this little picture of a labyrinth here in a little bit. But first, let's hear introductions from the others who, this is my first time getting to know them, along with perhaps some of you who are watching the stream. I'm very eager to hear their introductions as well. So let's see, who should go first? Shall we start at the top of my little window? You guys might see something different from what I see, but Abby, can you go first?
Sure.
Okay, great.
Hi all, I'm Abby from Tomes of the Chaos Bard. I play Henley Thornton, the Human Ranger. And Tomes of the Chaos Bard is an all-ages Dungeons & Dragons actual play audio drama podcast. And we have original songs and music and lots of puns and just lots of good, wholesome family fun. And we sing a lot. Anyway, and we also, one of our gimmicks is we have a proto story where Solemn the Chaos Bard and his sidekick Quill follow the adventurers and tell their story. and they have their own little shenanigans that happen, and they cause problems. It's great.
And where can we find
So-
that? Is it on?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hello. So, we're on pretty much every podcatcher platform. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We have an email. We're going to do a mailbag in February, so if you want to send in questions, just go on our Twitter, and I'll have it pinned. So that's great.
Thank you for sharing. This is my first time learning about it. Chaos Bard, right?
Yes. If you
Awesome.
type in
I'm excited to follow
Google
that
Tomes
later.
of the Chaos Bard, we're the whole first page of
Tomes
Google.
of the
So pretty easy to
Nice.
find us.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Thank you, Abby. Great. So next in my little list here is Dan.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
So I guess my original content that's floating out there is Almost Bedtime Theater. It is a podcast where I play with my daughter and her cousin, and we play a variety of role-playing games, try them out, and so you can find our actual plays there, and then also we do little reviews of them, chat about them a bit, just having fun. So in general, it's also family-friendly game where you can just join us to listen in, or maybe find a game or get some advice to run your own. And I guess where to find us. Also on most platforms, you throw it out there and it sticks. And then as far as social media, on Twitter as @almostbedtime. That's about as far as I've gotten with social media. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, great. I am a little familiar with that one. I have recently heard of it and I love it. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Love it. Awesome. So thank you for Almost Bedtime Theater. How about Cece?
Hi there. So my name is Cece. You can find me anywhere on the internet @CSilencio. And then also, I am a part of the Drunken Geek podcast. We are an actual play Pathfinder 2nd Edition podcast. I play Laurel Waysry, she's a wood elf druid. Because what else are you going to be if you're a druid? But yeah, we have a lot of fun. We adopt all of the animals, and we curse a lot, so it's not really 100% family friendly, but we do our best. And you can find us on any podcatcher and also on all of the social medias @Drunken Geek Pod. I also
Nice.
have a lot of pets, so if we hear any animals in the background, I've got 4 dogs and 2 cats. And they're very fun, but they also don't respect streaming rules. So,
Cool. Very nice. Thank you, Cece. So excellent. Good. Shall we get started then with our adventure? Are we ready to go? So good. Excellent. So first, let me just briefly introduce our game that we have here. It's called Redigo. You can roll the R if you want to, or not.
Yes.
Redigo is okay too. And it's designed. Yes, it's
Redigo.
And pick your European accent or any other accent you like, including just your own accent, whatever and say it in that. So yes, it's a game. You can see the hands here. It's actually played primarily with hands instead of dice. It's built to be the kind of game that you can play like for 15 minutes on a walk with your dog and maybe a friend. I mean, you wouldn't play it with the dog necessarily, but you could
try.
play with anybody who's walking the dog with you. And it's fun. You don't need dice, you don't need paper, you don't need pencils, you don't need a tabletop to play this tabletop role-playing game. And it's very flexible. Okay, so the idea is that you don't need to have a fixed GM. You can if you want, if you prefer that play style, that's totally cool. But you can also like switch back and forth so often that nobody knows who's the GM anymore. My belief is that role play is always really by consensus. like the role play part of role playing games really happens when everybody really agrees that, oh yeah, that's what happened. And as we're narrating different things, it's always a dialogue between whoever happens to be the guide at the moment and whoever happens to be the actor. I call them guides and actors because we're all players here, right? We're all enjoying this experience together. So, like I'll start us off with the guide thing, but I don't know, maybe I'll pick a character myself later, in our story, and maybe not. I don't know. Like I'm open to all the possibilities. But generally, it's typical GM player stuff. As a guide to start with, my job is to describe key details and problems and mysteries, and skip any boring bits. And then your job as an actor to begin with is to decide how your characters or teams, or maybe you have multiple characters, maybe you share a character, whatever, how they all try to affect the situation, and then it goes back to me and back and forth. That's pretty standard. Lots of games do that. This one gets a little bit different when we get to risky or uncertain situations. Those are things where people might disagree on what would happen next, like reasonably, right? Or maybe none of us know and we need some inspiration. And there, we hopefully will agree on whether an event is likely to take place or unlikely, probably won't work, or we have no idea, and then we'll just choose that middle option. And then we go into our hand game, which it'll be easier to kind of explain later. The key that we need to talk right now is some of the principles of play. Okay, I think these are really helpful for any game, but particularly with Radico. We should share the spotlight generously, and I'm going to need your help with this, okay, guys? Because I'm a teacher, and you know how teachers love to talk, right? This is one of my shortcomings. I love talking. I love role play. I love all this stuff so much. It's hard for me to know when to quit. So I think I would like to designate a hand signal. I know all of you are very active, and so you'll want to talk too. I'm sure. So let's designate a hand signal or something that hey, let me talk now. Like for whenever we want to do that. Can you is this just raising hands? Is that good? Yeah? Good. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Very, very good. And whenever you do that, I'll be like, oh yeah, or whoever's talking too much will be like, oh yeah, let's let other people share the talk too. And you may have heard of safety tools, and I'm sure we'll all be very safe, but we'll still want to give each other feedback possibly. So I have here like these again hand signals that we can share with each other for any reason that we want to give each other feedback. And I'd like you guys to make up your own if you want, or not if you don't want. It's totally up to you. For example, thumbs up, like, oh yeah, do that more. Say more about that, or show both palms, like I need a break right now. I need to pause because duty calls or something. Or maybe like, no, I'm deathly afraid of that bug that you just mentioned, and I just can't have that in my game. We need to cut that out. These are the sort of ones that come built in the game. But would anyone else like to suggest something that comes to mind? As like a safety tool or feedback mechanism, any kind of symbol that we could recognize? No? They don't come
Anytime someone
easily.
makes a really good pun, anytime someone makes a really good pun, I would like us to do finger guns at each other.
Yes. Yes, I agree with that. I'm trying to think of a pun right now to practice.
Yeah, me too.
That would be right, because if I don't.
And
practice,
that has
I'll
my
forget about
seal of approval. Meh.
Now we need to, just knuckle down and move on.
Yeah. Okay. So, so the rest of these principles, I think, are not, I think, really different from most conversations. If you think about it, role play, is a lot, respect each other's boundaries, et cetera. I think a lot of stuff that we would do anyway, like fill in the blanks in our imagination. Any one of us is likely to get stuck. Like, I don't know what my character should do, or I don't know what's going to happen next. I need suggestions, And so this is not one of those games where my job is to have everything planned out for you. This is one of those games where we just really enjoy it and we take it easy. You know what I mean? Like it's really like, and you know, at the very end, we might come to a satisfying conclusion, or we might not. And like grown-ups often get hung up on like endings, but let's not. You know, let's be kids, and let's let this story go where it goes, and we'll follow it instead of trying to mold it into our preconceived notions. Let's I don't know. We might leave it on a cliffhanger to be continued later, or perhaps pondered in future daydreams. You know, and that's a success too.
I love that.
So, yeah. Pressure's off, right? Okay. So, now there are lots and lots of ways to get started with the Redigo game. Previous to this moment, all we've done is we've agreed that we'd like to do it themed on the Labyrinth. You know, the Jim Henson movie from the 80s, starring David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly. You might have heard of it. There's this really cool adventure game here, which I can share with you here, called Jim Henson's Labyrinth, the adventure game. And I often use this together with Redigo and lots of other resources with my students. And we just agreed before this that we'd like to have something like that for our story. But we're gonna not necessarily use that game too much. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know. But that's our inspiration, and maybe some more Jim Henson inspiration as well too. So now over here we have this way to get started, and I'll put up on the side as well some of my other rules for this. So in this place, there's lots of ways to get started, which people could see later. So many different ways. We've sort of done this before. Now we're going to do this. So it's like Mad Libs. Actually, I kind of got this idea from the Quest RPG, which some of you might know of. Again, mixing different things together is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to write down your fill-in-the-blank answers to this. And if you get stuck, I'll give suggestions too. But I really want to hear yours, right? We've already got the first one. Our story begins in that should be a lowercase t. I'm a teacher. I have to get these things right. The Labyrinth. Oh, messy handwriting will just have to be okay. All right, which is what? Can you guys help me with this one? Our story begins in the Labyrinth, which is how would you describe it?
Rite of passage.
Ooh, that is surprising. Excellent. A rite of passage. That doesn't look like it. There we go. A rite of passage in what? Where is the labyrinth? Actually, the movie doesn't say. We have to make it up. In what?
In dreams?
I'm thinking the same thing. Whoa. Okay. In the world of dreams. That was my secret suspicion all the time, that the whole movie was actually a dream. Where you can find, I know, so many things. Pick one, just as an example. What do you think? What can we find in the labyrinth? Fairies? Goblins?
Dragons?
Magical treasures? Dragons!
Wishes.
Nice.
Ooh.
Dragons. I'm putting both of those in. Dragons and wishes. Excellent. So there will now be dragons in our story. The problem here, and here's where we're getting to the plot. Yeah, we've got the setting, but now we need some plot. The problem is that what?
What if the dragons are sad because the wishes have run off?
Ooh.
I love it.
I
love it. I love it. This is you're already surprising me here. The wishes, the
dragons are sad.
Are sad because the wishes have run off. So that means dragon, like wishes or something like fairies. Like they're not, or like genies or something. Like a wish is an actual creature.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I would think
I'm
of it
excited
like
to find out what that is.
a fairy that you catch, and then you get a wish because you caught him.
Like a
I don't know.
leprechaun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like a
Or
fairy
a
with
will o'
wings?
the wisp.
Ooh,
Ooh,
yeah.
or a
will-o'-the-wisp.
Or maybe,
I love it.
yeah, maybe they take multiple forms. Yeah, cool. Excellent. Very nice. You are, okay, now here's where we get to character creation. Okay? And here, I guess we're going to need a little bit more space. We can start with one character. We don't have to develop all the characters, at the outset. If you watch the movie or many other movies too, they add main characters as they go. And that's okay for us as well. Like if you don't have an idea of who your character is right now, that's cool. We can do that later. But who has an idea of which character we're going to start with? I know you guys were talking about something earlier, right?
Yes. Dan and I are, well, Dan is Beaker and I'm Bunsen, and we're a goblin pair. We like to blow things up.
So shall I use those names, Beaker and Bunsen, from the Muppets? But we're like alternate universe Beaker and Bunsen. Or do you want to mix it up? What do you want to do?
Ooh. What do you think, Dan?
I'm just thinking that there was a great set of names the other day. I think it was like Fliz and Flop. That I just loved. They were little bandits in the other game, but they're small, they're furry, and I just really liked those names.
Yes, I'll be Fliz.
Shall we go with that?
Excellent. I wanted to be Flop.
Fliz and Flop.
That's with two P's.
Shall I write goblin? Oh, two P's.
Just gotta get it right.
Two P's.
Yeah. The goblin scientist?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, chaos scientists.
Science,
I
right.
see.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh, that's better. How about goblin chaos scientist?
I love it.
Yes.
Nice. Lovely. How about you, Cece? Are you ready to go with a character idea, or do you want to save it?
Let's save it. Let's bump
Awesome.
into me later.
Great. Excellent. No problem. That's fun. It's exciting. Okay, so you are the only ones who. Oh. Now this is tricky. A lot of characters, like main characters in students' stories, right? The main character may be nice and interesting, but they're not particularly well suited to solve the problem. This sentence here is helpful because it puts your character at the heart of the story right from the beginning. But it requires some creative thinking now. We've got ourselves in a fix. You are the only ones who can solve this problem because why? Why are Fliz and Flop, the goblin chaos scientists, the only ones who can solve the problems of the wishes that ran off and the sad dragons?
They're the only ones that have nets. They own the only nets in the labyrinth.
Yes.
I love it. It happens every time. I think, well, that's a tough question, but there's an easy answer. Okay, good. Because
so good.
you are. Because they're the only ones with net. Awesome. Okay. But thankfully, blank can help you. Hey, we could introduce your character here if you have an idea.
Yeah.
Or this could be something else. Like this could be anything. Let's throw an idea out there. I'm sure it'll be good.
So
What do you like?
I want to be a cat.
Nice. Your
Um,
name? Or should I
let's
write the
see.
cat?
We've got Fliz and Flop. What about... My brain just said falafel. I don't know why, but that's my name now. I am
Please.
Falafel the cat.
Can I spell that in my own way? I
Yes,
would like to spell
please
it
do.
as falafel, like that. Is
I
that
love
okay?
it.
Falafel, like waffle, but with Phil
It's
in
like
it. Okay, good.
you
Excellent.
filled a waffle and then put it
Yeah.
together. So yeah,
Ooh, that has
falafel.
to be double L. Falafel. That's better.
Yes,
That's
I love it.
Falafel the cat. Now, my first thing that I have in my imagination here is like Puss in Boots is what comes to mind at
Oh, yeah.
first. I'm imagining like a
Absolutely.
dashing, daring. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
But should I describe this as the swashbuckling cat, or what adjective would go well there?
Ooh. I do like swashbuckling. I think that's a good one.
Nice.
But instead of saying arg, they go prrr.
I'm gonna write that.
Perfect.
I'm just gonna make that sound. That's gonna be my only sound that I make for the rest of the show. It's just
That's right. Is it which of between Fliz and Flop? Which one is the one that speaks in very nice, scientific language, and which one is the one that goes like that?
I
Is it no
am
bigger, or
the
you
one
can
that
both speak?
speaks very properly.
Properly. Okay, and you're Fliz, right? That's the
Yes.
okay. Good. Excellent.
Fliz the eloquent.
All right. So yeah. But thankfully, Falafel, the swashbuckling cat, can help you. So unfortunately, Now, by the way, when you're playing with kids this game, and please feel free, everybody, to just steal whatever you learn from watching or playing this together, and just play Ridigo with anyone you like. But if you play with kids and you only have like 5 minutes to play, you can skip sections like this. This is only there for situations like now, when we might like a little bit of extra complication to make our story last a little bit longer. It doesn't have to last a long time, right? But we have more time right now, so let's use it. Unfortunately, the situation is complicated by what? Can I suggest something
Yes,
here?
Oh yes.
In the original movie, there is a Goblin King. And the Goblin King is not a goblin, strangely. They never address this. They never say why the Goblin King is not a goblin. The Goblin King is a rock star with 80s hair, super handsome David Bowie. And I like David Bowie. I have no problem with David Bowie, but I can't get into that role. I need a different Goblin King, right? And, we could have a Goblin King, or we could have a Goblin Queen, or we could have like a robot who's taking control of the labyrinth, or maybe, like that Goblin King from the Hobbit movie. Like, I like him, I think perhaps the Goblin King is here, or maybe he's not a Goblin King. Maybe he's something else. Could be the Wish King, the Dragon King.
Ooh.
What do you think? The Wish King or the Dragon King? I
I
usually
like
go
the
with a
Wish
robot
King
with my
because
kids,
I've never
but
heard of
today-
one before.
Mhm.
Awesome. The Wish King, and the Wish King's. You know what I'm going to say? The Wish King's wins because that alliterates with Wish. Wish King's wins, and the Wish King sounds like somebody who would like to make some trouble. I think not necessarily evil, but just mischievous. So yes, and that should complicate our situation nicely. But if you manage to blank, you might just blank. So
If
here,
we manage to catch a fairy or a wish.
Okay, yeah. A fairy / wish. You might just save the world or make it home in time for dinner. Or who knows?
Make the dragons
what are our
happy
stakes?
again.
Cheer up the dragons.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, cheer up the dragons.
I love it. Cheer up the dragons. Okay, good.
And make the dreams good again instead of bad.
Ooh, lovely. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
That's
If all the
beautiful.
dragons are sad, that's not helping the dream world at all, is it?
Yeah. Make the
Like
dream.
Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, good. So this, gives me now, I have the inspiration for where to start our story. And thankfully, this book, the Labyrinth Adventure Game, provides some bit of visual stimulus, right? So that we can have more more nice things to see. After all, this is like a video, so we can have that there. I had it all ready to go, and now it's somehow I have to find the file again. Just let me get it really quickly. Class files, Labyrinth, images, number 40. Here we go. And then I have to put it here. And okay, so there we go. Okay, so this is a map, right? And it's loading. Hang on a second. That's just what it looks like when you first paste it in. This is a map, and the actual game has something a bit different here. But for now, I think this is the place where we can put our dragon. I'm drawing in blue because he's so sad, and he's sitting in this pool of water, and with like why not? Oh, that should be blue. Hang on, blue color, please. Thank you. And then here he's got his head kind of curled up, under the water, and he's blowing bubbles out of his nose.
Aw.
Like that, and he's looking really, really sad here. Okay, and these are his great wings, and this is a pretty big space. And so we could have all of our characters here, but let's start with Fliz and Flop to begin with, and let's put them over here, maybe in green because they're goblins, right? We have they both start with F, so I'm gonna need to choose a different, maybe Z for Fliz, and P for Flop, right? So that you see the dragon is crying and sad, and the dragon says, "Oh, my wishes." And bubbles come up out of the water. What's your relationship to this dragon? Do you think? Are you servants of the dragon?
Mommy.
Or just friends of the dragon?
My mom.
We're his pets.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, nice.
Want to
I
say
sort of
hi,
love
Mary?
that.
Oh, is it a child? Oh, we have a child with us. Yay! Hello.
Mommy, what's this?
Here.
Oh,
What's
hello.
this?
Hello. Hi.
They're Mama's friends. Yeah, and we're going to help a dragon not be sad.
Yeah, it's a sad dragon. All right, so you're his pet, and you say, so since you're his pet, he's going to say, "Oh, Fliz and Flop,
Mommy, you
I
talk
need
to
you
him.
to find the
You
wishes.
talk to him.
They're in the labyrinth. You have to go through
Mommy,
this
you
door
talk
here."
to him. You talk to him.
You have to go in through the door, but the door is locked.
Where'd you put the key? You lost it again.
You have to speak the
You
password.
eat up my chocolate.
Do you remember what it is? You have a bad memory.
Yes, it's 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4.
you eat up my chocolate.
Can't remember the last one.
You eat up my
What is
chocolate.
it?
Is
Not
it 5 or
chocolate,
8?
5. It's 5. Yes. And so then the door opens. Somebody gets that reference
Yes.
from a movie, another 80s movie. Anyway, all right. So the door opens. Thank you.
Mommy,
Thank you.
where's
Thank
my
you. Now, please go
chocolate?
in there. I'm so sad.
I'll
I
get
can't
you another
do
one.
anything. So now you guys are headed into the labyrinth, and I have here also another really great picture that I can put in for you, which is this one. Okay. And as you can see, this part looks properly labyrinth-like. And yeah, so this is what you see. As you walk into the labyrinth, you can walk into any one of these doors. It doesn't really matter. But let's say you walk in this one, okay? And as you walk in, you're suddenly bedazzled with all the different ways that you could possibly go, right? Now, like I think you might get lost here. Flop. I'm gonna, because Liz might be a little busy at the moment. Flop. How would you face this problem?
Oh, yes. Mine. That's mine, Linda. That's mine. I didn't take it.
Should we pause for a moment?
Oh, I think she just muted
Oh, got
herself
it?
so that we can keep going.
All right. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Okay. Great. 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 Okay. Thanks. Thanks for the advice. So, Flop, how would
Yes.
Flop face this getting lost in the maze for the first time, or possibly getting lost, trying to find a way?
I believe Flop is the kind of very serious chaos scientist who embraces getting lost in the labyrinth. That's the way you get through. You just randomly pick directions and march forward. I mean, there's no sense in
So,
trying to go a direction on purpose, because that's just silly.
Right. So if you consider that, how likely is it, do you think, that kind of thing would work out? Like, would you say that that's likely to succeed, or like unlikely to succeed, or like, I have no idea. Like, maybe this is a dream world. Maybe that's exactly the way to go. What do you think?
See, I was thinking that it would be surprisingly likely to work. I would be fine with unsure or likely. It depends on how
Cece,
the
what do you
brain's
think?
feeling.
So I
That's
feel like it would be likely. I feel like if anywhere is going to need you to get lost to find the true way through, it's going to be a labyrinth.
Nice. Now, by the way, you guys, we just switched roles. You guys took on the role of the guide. It's the guide who gets to decide if it's likely or unsure or unlikely, and you just did. And that's fantastic, because in that moment, I wasn't sure. I didn't know. If you left it to me only, I would have picked unsure. But I really like how you guys, took that on, and yeah, you decided. It makes it a lot more fun for me, because then I don't have so much pressure. So yeah, I'm really happy with likely. I think it makes sense. Your explanation is a good one. So then now I think this is a chance for us to find out if we end up in a situation, and I have several possibilities in mind, right? We could end up in a situation where, like, oh yes, I'm finding my way through the labyrinth and I'm making progress towards finding the wishes. Or we could end up in a situation where, I'm getting lost and there's trouble, and there's something wrong here, right? Or we might surprise ourselves and find something totally different, like that we didn't expect. So Radigo will help us to decide which one of those it'll be. And so that means we're going to play our hand game together. And Abby may not be available to play that. So if she can't play with us, then what we'll do is, since we've got, it's likely to succeed, that means we get 3 tries at this, okay? So we'll play with me. I'm going to go ready, go. And then I'm going to show one of these hand symbols, either 5 or 6, 0, it's the same, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I mean, they'll kind of go in a circle. 6 is considered close to 5 and also to 1. Because that way every number is close to two other numbers, no matter which number you show, and it's properly random. There's no best number out there. So what we're going to do is we say ready, go, and then we show one of these numbers, and then we just see if they're really close. That's good. Then you get what you want. If they're far away, that's not good. Well, that is good for the story because it adds narrative tension, but it's not good for your character. That would be some kind of trouble. Something goes wrong is wide open to interpretation. So we can interpret that how we like. But, sometimes it doesn't make sense to fail. So this pay a price to win means, yeah, you can still do it, but you have to give up something significant to the story, right? We probably won't choose that because this seems like a situation, in this situation, where it'd be a lot more fun to get in trouble, you know? Our lives are not on the line or anything. So I suspect we'll choose this one, but the option is open to you if you want it. And then, of course, if either of you gets exactly the same number, then that could mean that you get like an extra turn, like if you're in some kind of competition. It could mean a bonus, like some extra good thing happens, or maybe some kind of opportunity appears that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise. This is, of course, the least likely outcome, but it's really fun when it happens. Also, I think we might do a giveaway. Perhaps Scriv will pop back in and do a giveaway if we get a match. So I hope. I don't know. Maybe if we're lucky. Okay, good.
Heck
Okay.
yeah, we can.
So, all right.
And
So are you ready?
actually, speaking of giveaways, we have just chosen the winners for the Color My Quest giveaway in the chat. Hopefully everyone's keeping an eye on that. And we have now started the next giveaway because we've already hit that next milestone. So we are going to be giving away a copy of Ready Go. So if you are ready to go ahead and drop hashtag ScribblerHug once again in the chat for your chance to win. We're going to announce the winner at the end of this stream. However, I don't see why we can't have some other fun incentives for critical successes or matches. So what do y'all think? We could either have a song sung for each fantastic success, or I could also give out a subscription to this channel.
All those are great. Abby may not be able to sing at the moment, but the subscriptions are, yes? Oh, she can. Oh, she's back.
Oh, perhaps.
Perhaps.
But at the very least, we are giving away copies of Redigo. So how about this? For every success, if it's okay with you, David, we can add a winner for the giveaway, so we can increase the number of copies that are given away. And if we do really, really well, I'll probably throw some subscriptions in there to the channel.
I'm back. Sorry.
Yay,
For every match,
welcome back.
right? For every match.
So
For
yes,
every
I
match.
can sing a song.
Yay!
Yeah, you can do both. I mean, I have these digital print-at-home copies, so I'm not limited in how many I can give away. Like give as many as we can. I think that's fantastic.
Okay,
so,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Continue on. Hashtag ScribblerHug, folks, to enter.
Right. Great. So now you're here, Abby. Okay, are you ready? So now, if you like, you can.
I'm ready.
Join us. Did you hear me explain it before?
Yes.
On Go, you just make sure it's visible on camera which number you show, and we'll see if it's the same as my number, which I haven't even decided what it'll be yet, or close to it, or far away from it. Okay, you ready? Ready? Okay. Ready, go! Awesome. Oh, wow. That's two matches.
Starting strong.
Okay, so yeah, start strong. Very good. Okay, so that's 2 matches and a win, which is almost like the best possible outcome that you can get. So that means that not only do you find some clue, right, leading you towards the fairies, the wishes, but also there's some kind of extra opportunity involved. In addition to giveaways, Scrib, do you want to give away the things now, or do we save that for later?
So what we'll do, because I have the giveaway continuing to run in the background, so we will pull an additional winner from all of the entries for everyone who enters the competition. But we also see criticarpal rolls. Thanks, Tim. We also see a recommendation or a cool idea from K-Fall in the chat saying for every match maybe a community copy. So I will leave that up to you, David, for how you would like to manage this. We can either choose multiple winners from the giveaway here, or we can look at community copies. I will leave that up to you because this is your brilliant game.
Awesome. Excellent. Thank you. No, that's wonderful. Both are good. Both are excellent. We can do both also, like one community copy and also in the giveaway chat. Anything is fine. So, all right. Okay. So you guys have won and you deserve it. I'm thinking that over here, there's some kind of clue with the wishes, right? I'm thinking you might be hearing a song, that the wishes have a special song they sing. And as you step in over here and you're wandering through the labyrinth, and as you get to one of these turning points, you go, what's that sound? And we hear the kind of song that wishes sing. Abby, have you got one for us? A song
Yes, I'm
that
just
wishes
trying to
sing.
pull it up.
Okay, good.
Oh, we're wishing for the dragon of our hearts to find him today.
Interesting. So like me keep going or her? I thought the song was short.
Oh,
Should I keep going?
the
My
song
turn
keep
now?
going.
I don't know.
Sorry, folks in chat. I am causing chaos and distraction behind because I couldn't hold back my excitement at that song. Please continue the game, please.
Lovely, beautiful song. So you hear, and that sounded kind of like a siren song, to me. Like when I heard that song, there was something of that wispy beauty that I might expect in a siren song. Like there's danger here. But no, this is an opportunity. So I think maybe you're hearing that song coming from somewhere over in this direction, right? And the song, it seems like a clue that perhaps over here, that's where you might be able to find some fairies. And yet, at the same time, there's more here. You notice there's this thing here as well. And this is some kind of a signpost, which is pointing off in different directions. And it's mysterious what that could be. So you're coming in, you hear the sound, and you come here, and then you see this distracting signpost. And standing in front of the signpost, I think this would be a very good time for us to meet Falafel, right? You see Falafel, who, I don't know, perhaps is seeking treasure, or wait, what is it? Yes, you are a swashbuckling cat. So in the original, when they set up this situation, this signpost actually points to treasures. But I'd like to turn it over to you. Cece, what is Falafel looking for? Why is he looking, or they looking at the sign?
So they are interested in an elusive golden mouse. And we
Mechanical
know
mouse?
that the nest is somewhere in the labyrinth, but we don't know where.
Huh.
And so we're looking for something that the golden mouse might be interested in.
Interesting. Is the golden mouse golden colored or actually made of gold, like a mechanical, like an automaton mouse?
I like the idea of an automaton, like a little toy mouse.
Nice, good. Okay, so Falafel is standing here now. Fliz and Flop, Fliz and Flop, yes, Fliz and Flop. Like when you see this cat standing here, or perhaps Falafel, which one of you responds to the other first? Maybe you bump into each other and knock down. Like, sorry. So.
Oh my goodness, a feline.
What do you say to each other? A feline.
Who goes there?
It is Fliz and Flop, the mad scientists of the dragon, the blue dragon. We're looking for wishes.
You're
the wishes
looking
in the
for
pot.
wishes? I am looking for a mouse. Perhaps,
What?
perhaps we can look together.
I'll help
I
you
would
if you
say
help
that is a
me.
fine idea. What do you say, Flop?
I think I've got. I mean, we clearly have the nets, but I think I'm also just carrying around this rather large, very dented and rusty soup pot. And so the response clearly has to be, put the Mancy in the pot. Pot, 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 pot. Because it's a science pot. I'm mixing my Muppet
science
metaphors,
pot.
but... Put the Mancy in the pot.
Nice. So, okay, so now these hands do seem to point to something. And if you puzzle it out, if you study the hands or something, you might be able to find whatever they're pointing to, or you could just head off in the direction of the song. Which way do you choose?
Song.
Song? Yeah?
If everyone's cool with
Very
that.
good. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So then, if you're heading off, and actually in the labyrinth game, you can choose randomly between these pictures, but I'm choosing my favorites that I like because I've played this game a lot. So the maps are helpful. So we've got them here. Now, if as you come along here, you see this. And you're walking down that hallway there, and you come across this giant nest, which is sitting
do you see that
mysteriously
ahead?
in the way.
That's very interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, that was a nice one there. So yeah, so this thing is in your way. You all are traveling down this little road here, and you could turn back, I suppose, or climb over it, or dig around inside of it. If you
We
dare.
would like to blow it up, please.
Okay, how will you do that? I suppose as mad scientists, you'd be carrying some blow-upable materials.
I imagine I'm carrying like this huge backpack just full of alchemy supplies and just junk for the labyrinth. And so I pull out my backpack and I just start mixing random ingredients that I've known, and then I just hand it to Flop.
In the pot.
In the pot. Nice.
But
nice.
we aim the pot at the nest.
Oh, yes. That's very important. Safety first.
Nice.
Safety first.
So you're thinking like one of those volcano experiments.
Yes. So
Like
Oh,
one
yeah.
of those,
you gotta-
it'll
But
the
with, like,
chemical reaction
really
fizz up inside.
Fancy scientific chemical ingredients that explode and like just fizz everywhere.
What it is you put some baking soda and some vinegar, but then you also threw some pop rocks in there.
Oh yeah.
Kind
And
of
red
shook
food
it up
coloring.
and red food coloring.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Do not try this at home.
Good, excellent. Yeah.
We are trained professionals.
Unless you're ready to clean. Yeah. So again, I think this could go a lot of different ways.
Oh, yeah.
I can think of some opportunities. I can think of some successes. I can think of lots of different things. But again, I'm having a bit of difficulty thinking of how likely. I think it's unlikely. I think it's unlikely to be. You go ahead. You're going to say the same thing?
I was going to say it's unsure at best, but I totally agree with unlikely.
Yes.
Yeah. I think this is unlikely to go smoothly. Who's actually doing the pouring?
Oh, Bunsen. Fliz is.
Fliz, you can do the application.
You get to Flop does pour the last ingredient in though. Cause that's Beaker's job.
If it's going to explode, I'm closest. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say if? When it explodes.
When it explodes. Oh, did our DM freeze?
Oh.
Uh-oh. We shocked him into silence.
Stand by, folks. We're going to do a quick tech check. And in fact, just to be sure, this could be a good time to take a few minutes to remind you of the giveaway that's going on. So let me drop my my face back on here for a minute while we wait for David. Hello, surprise, it's me again. Hello everyone, apologies for the technical difficulties. We're gonna take a really quick maybe minute break or so, a couple minutes break, while we give our GM a chance to join back in. So stretch your legs, get a beverage of your choice, and enter the giveaway! We are going to be giving away 2 copies of Radigo now and announcing the winners at the end of this stream because we are bussing through those fundraising goals. Also, continue to stick around because I have a very special announcement at the end of this stream as well. But more to come later for that. Ooh, look at us phase shifting. Heck yeah. So we are definitely going to take a few minutes break. Enter hashtag Scribbler Hug, one word, just as spelled up above me on this screen here to make sure that you're able to enter the giveaway. And with that, we're going to take 5. Make sure we have our technical issues sorted out, and we will be right back, everyone. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. See you in a minute. Bye.
Obligatory internet disconnect. I'm back, you guys. It had to happen, right? There has to be some kind of
Yay.
internet disconnect.
Yes.
It just stopped. You know, the usual.
Welcome back, everyone, and look, everyone's lovely faces are back on the screen. But you know what we say, it would not be a stream if we didn't have some sort of hiccup. This always happens, but we roll with it. Okay, so we are back. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for your understanding as we took just a short break to rearrange things a little bit in the background. I'm gonna get off stream again. Enjoy the rest of the story. Thank you, everyone, to the cast, and enter the giveaway. Hashtag Scribbler Hug for Ready Go. Thank you. Okay, bye.
Okay, great.
Poof.
Thank you, Scrib. Sorry, everybody. My internet just, it disappears. It happens. So anyway, we're back. And if you remember, previously on Redigo Labyrinth, we were getting ready to explode this nest. And we still don't know what's inside of it. And so we could be in for a rather unpleasant surprise. We're not exploding it with TNT, no. We're exploding it with mad scientist chemicals. And Flop, right here, is the one who is about to pour the mixture inside. So Flop, I think you ought to be the one to do the honors. You might still get lucky. It's possible this could go well.
Oh, I hope not.
Are you ready? All right. Okay.
Ready.
Good. Ready, go. And that's a miss.
Excellent.
Okay. Good. So as you can see over here, you have the 1 and the 5 are not right next to each other. You'd need a 0 for that. So yes, that is a miss. So that means something goes wrong, or else you pay a price to win. You want something to go wrong, I think, right?
I absolutely want something to go wrong.
Nice. So
100%.
So I've got something wrong for you. Yeah. So as you pour the thing in, naturally it starts bubbling over, and it starts clearing away the mess. But all kinds of objects are inside this nest. You see, really dirty socks coming out. You see, worms. And they squeal as they come out. They're like, and they come out, and then you see something like an egg, because it's a nest. It's gotta have eggs in it, right? You see an egg coming up, and it bubbles and bubbles and bubbles, and it bubbles up and over the wall. And then not only that, it's such a mess. Falafel, you are the one who notices a small golden shimmering shine glint in the what's it called, in the light, in the labyrinth, and then it washes down in this direction. If I can just click there and draw it, it washes down over there, and then as you see it go, maybe it was the mouse, maybe not. Around the corner steps this creature, which I would like to show you here. Not that. That's David Bowie. That's not the creature we're talking about. I just have to scroll down to the right page, and then you'll be able to see. So can anyone tell me, what do we usually find in nests?
Birds.
What do we usually find in nests?
Pack rats.
Spiders?
No, thank you. Please,
No!
not. That's
This is the nest. Okay, good. We have a picture. Birds! Okay, so we find this thing, which is one of the really nice illustrations that I love in this book. This thing is huge. It is naturally the mother of that egg. And it's like, what's all this well, it doesn't say, but in its language it would be saying, what's all this noise? Who's messing with my nest? And who are you? And of course what you hear is and this I hope our viewers don't mind the noise screeching, but that's what it sounds like. What do I do? The thing it's coming out, and the eyes are filled with fury. Now I hope nobody is scared of birds, right? We're all good with birds, right? Okay. This is the part in D&D where you'd say roll for initiative. But in this game, we don't need initiative, right? There's no initiative in here. You don't. The thing is charging at you. What do you do?
I think Flop
Chicken.
says,
Dear Flop, I think we have disturbed something.
Flop says, put the flop in the pot. Turns it upside down and just sticks it on its head.
Nice. +2 defense. Not really.
Feline, falafel. What do you suggest?
Gotta get them out.
Come
And
closer. Get them out.
I'm-
Yeah, that was pretty
Get the mouse, get the mouse. And so I do a little hip hop back and forth, and then kind of try to zigzag and just get around the bird so it can't get me.
Okay. So it sounds like you're gonna run past the bird.
I would like to
gotta go back
try.
to my other thing. Interesting. Okay, good. So let's draw a suitably large red dot to represent our bird charging down the hall. Okay, and then as it's charging down the hall, it has these really long stilt-like legs, right? So I imagine a cat might be able to dash between those two things really, really quickly.
Kevin.
Kevin, that's a movie reference, isn't it? I'm not getting it.
Sure is.
I've been living outside of the United States for so long that what movie is that from?
Up.
It's from Up. Oh, I know that one, and I missed it.
Kevin's the bird.
Anyway, all right. So,
Kevin's
yeah,
the
oh,
bird with the
yeah!
really long
Oh,
legs.
Yeah.
It's Kevin. It's Kevin.
I need some
It's Kevin.
chocolate in my backpack.
Yeah.
I can
nice.
distract him.
That goes next to the pop rocks.
Oh, yes.
I'm
mhm.
gonna name our bird Fevin. Fevin. I think I have.
For our F alliteration.
Yeah, because we have an F family of names going on over here. Anyway, so Fevin is running down. You're going to try to dash between. That seems like a pretty active situation. So that's your turn. You're going to try to avoid the dashing bird,
Yes.
and possibly by distracting it, maybe it'll turn away from our other friends who are otherwise like hiding ineffectively from it. So let's see now. But again, I need some help. Abby, how about you? Do you think this is likely to succeed or unlikely, or you also have no idea?
I think right in the middle of the pack. I think that, I definitely think falafel can get through its legs if I can distract it. The question is if I can distract it from saving its baby.
Oh, hello. So you're talking about helping falafel in some way, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and distract the bird
Oh, interesting. How?
with food. I'm like literally just trying to find the chocolate, throwing things out of my pack, trying to find chocolate to feed the bird.
Huh. Interesting. Perhaps you might have a chocolate manufacturing device as well. Like, it seems to me that a mad scientist might be more likely to be carrying a chocolate manufacturing device than actual chocolate, right? So you might
Fair
be like,
enough. Yes,
think,
absolutely.
I've got just the thing. I'm pulling out the device and saying, all I need is some cucumbers. Give me cucumbers right now, to make chocolate, right?
Yes.
Or I don't know, whatever, something imaginative and Muppet-like. So then, all right, good. So hopefully this is going to be a good distraction for the bird. And with that, I think we're going to give it unsure. Dan and Cece, would you two do the honors with me? Yeah? Ready? Okay. Ready, go. Ooh, a match. Aha! Ooh, this is good. This is really good. Okay, so that's a miss and a match. And as you can see here, we have these various possible outcomes where you get to keep and combine the different results, right? And on a miss and a match, that means, it could mean any number of things. It could mean some kind of trouble, but also some kind of opportunity. It could maybe allow you to, kind of choose a different way. But I always love it when we say maybe failure is a good thing. Maybe it's good that you didn't get through the what do you call it? The legs of this bird.
I have an idea.
Cece, do you? Oh yeah, go ahead. Take over.
Cece, go ahead first.
Oh, I was gonna say, what if I make it to the other side of the bird, but the bird falls down and is now sitting and blocking the path? So we're now apart from each other.
Pay a price to win. Indeed, indeed.
And just in addition to that, I put Pop Rocks in my chocolate making machine. And so the little balls tripped the bird. That's how it fell. So it like made giant Pop Rocks
lovely.
and sort of like
Lovely.
Pop
I
Rocks
like it.
coated in chocolate and little balls. So they just all rolled and tripped the bird.
So all these Pop Rocks come flowing down here on top of the fluid mixture of whatever that earlier volcano thing was. Like all that slips up the bird, and it would take a couple seconds to draw. But imagine if you can see my fingers here. The thing comes along, and you, that is to say, Fluffle, you come running in between its legs, and its head goes because it's distracted by that. So it ducks between it, like, and it kind of does a somersault, and then it starts going, and its legs start coming up, and it starts like they do in the cartoons, like kind of dancing on all those marbles, or Pop Rocks in this case, and then finally there's this big cloud of volcano remain chemical dust. And the giant bird ends up with its long legs all tangled up, and completely in a mess. And now you are separated, as you said, Cece. Not only that, but you have one sad mama bird who can no longer defend her little baby, all tangled up by the nest that was previously her home. And suddenly this giant monster becomes just about the most pitiful thing you've ever seen.
Oh,
and
Abby's really sad.
It's your fault. Yeah, it's your fault.
I imagine Fliz is just like, but Abby's really sad.
Yes. Fliz is a goblin, remember? Yes, that's right. So how about
Grab
Flop?
the egg!
Grab the egg. The egg went up and over the wall, by the way.
Oh
That's
dear.
right.
Can't make things too easy. How is Flop feeling? Fliz is like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Meh.
Flop is feeling a little chagrined. Big word for Flop.
Some moral responsibility there. Yes, true.
Yeah, somebody's got to pack it around. Is that wall climbable?
Yeah. Okay. So they never think to climb the wall in the movie, but I think it should be climbable. Yeah, like especially for a cat. Oh, but the cat is gone.
The cat's just on the other side of the bird.
Okay.
I don't know that I've necessarily been like completely, but we're now in two separate parties instead of one big party together.
Potentially, but it seems like in this particular case, it would be pretty easy to get you guys back together again. You'd have, the cat on, I guess that's not really the proper, maybe I've written the word Fevin in the way, but the cat would be on this side over here, right? Whereas Fliz and Flop would be on the left side there. So, I've got this cool highlighter tool. Yeah, I can do this. Okay, great. So you've got the two sides there, and you could probably just climb over the poor bird. Excuse me, and then get to the other side, or you could maybe climb over the wall. I keep forgetting Falafel. Falafel would be able to just chase after the golden thing that might be the mouse. There's a lot of things you can do. I mean, or come up with your own idea. What do you think? What do you want to do?
Could we go up the bird? It's a big bird to kind of be the starter to then get up the rest of the way on the wall. It's our.
Oh, make the bird a ladder.
Big bird. It's Big Bird, which is also. Remember, like Jim Henson worked on Sesame Street?
Yeah.
That was totally intentional. Totally intentional.
Yeah. Right. So you could climb out. Are you going to do anything for the bird to help it, or is it like meh? Moral responsibility, meh. All the
I was
way
thinking
home.
of getting up to the wall to try to find the egg and bring the egg back at least before we dashed off. At least
Yes, that would
Flop's
be
trying to
very
at
good.
least get the egg back.
Fliz did
Yeah,
say
yeah,
go
cool.
get the egg.
Fliz did,
So,
and
Fliz
Fliz
did.
Did I go get the egg? Excellent. Good.
possibly
Very
I-
good.
other reasons.
So then, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, I think Falafel has recognized that the bird is sad, and I think that might sort of override the mouse, because we could say that he's
Really?
perhaps an emotional support cat.
Hmm.
And so he wants to check on the bird that is sad, and he's gonna do the little like head.
Does the
brush
bird
thingy.
turn blue because he's sad?
Yes, it does now.
As of now, yes. That's a brilliant idea. I love it. That's exactly what happened. The bird used to be kind of a purple, and then when it got angry, it turned red. Its feathers all just changed color, you know? The way that peacocks have that kind of iridescent look, right? So this is that, but magical. And it goes, and like there's this wave of color that spreads across its feathers. And then there's another wave of color now where it falls into a kind of despondency, where it's, oh, you know, all hope is lost and it's extremely sad. And now, thankfully, Falafel is the one with a heart. I can imagine, tell me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine Falafel kind of looks longingly at that golden floating thing floating away down the river of chemicals. And not really a river, more like a stream, I guess. Anyway, it's floating and it goes kind of around a corner. And Falafel looks and then comes back and now starts to take care of this poor bird. What would Falafel do to take care of the bird? How
So
would he show
Falafel
compassion?
likes snuggles, and I think what Falafel's gonna do is the cat thing, where it's like, I'm gonna rub my head on your arm until you feel better.
No.
That is too sweet. We've had swashbuckling because you dash between, and now we've got heartwarming.
Yeah.
I think that's an automatic success. I don't know, but maybe not. Could anything interesting happen? Oh yeah. Now we could play Ready Go for this. Think about it. If you miss, if you win, you just comfort the bird, and it's a bit better. Now maybe the bird can kind of help you, right? You make a connection with the bird. If you miss, then you'll have to sacrifice something to do it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps, at least for now, sacrifice that mouse thing that seemed to be the mouse that got away.
Okay.
Yeah? Is
Yep.
that because according to my rules that
I
I've got
think
here,
that's fair.
you have to accept the risk? Because I can't just, like, you might die at any time, right? Because that might be unfun for you, right? So, and it's strange. Like, there are a lot of kids, when I played with kids, like, they might be okay with their character dying, that's fine, but don't take away their puppy. That is not allowed.
Mhm.
And they are serious about, you know what I mean? So, like,
Mhm.
don't take away whatever goal they're working for, So kids are surprising. And anyway, humans are surprising. So yes, so you accept the risk, right? Don't worry.
Yes.
Even if you lose the mouse for now, it's possible you'll be able to get him or it or whatever in another future adventure. Or I don't know, maybe something will work out and we'll still get it today. All right, are you ready?
She can make a wish.
I think this is Yeah, you could make a wish.
My
yeah,
wish
yeah,
could
yeah.
be, yeah.
I'm thinking 2 goes for this. I think it's
Okay.
unsure, so I'd like to rope in Abby, if you don't mind,
Okay.
to play the other go. Yeah? Okay, ready? Can I see your hand to see that you're ready on the camera? There you go. All right, great. Ready, go! 5 and 0. Oh, that's a miss.
Oh. It's a double
goodness, because
miss.
nothing is close to 3. It's a double miss. Yes, which is good. Because that means you can think of pay a price to win. Yes, you'll comfort the bird, but it doesn't have to be the mouse. It could be something else. My suggestion at first was the mouse. Can you think of anything else?
I actually think that the mouse is perfect. The
Okay.
mouse missing, like, Falafel's going to continue looking for the mouse, but it's just never going to quite be
Mhm.
there on today's adventure.
Yeah. turns out some things are more important than gold. Yeah. True. Very nice. Very nice. So, okay, good. Very good. So now the bird, through your care, is able to relax its limbs in such a way that it can slowly get itself untangled. And, slowly the chemicals kind of drain away, and it'll stand up, but kind of sad and kind of lost in its direction. But then it starts to pick up something in the air, and it seems to smell something, but it can't seem to smell where it's coming from. Would you guys be able to help it find its lost egg? Would you be interested in that?
Was Flop ever able to climb up on the bird and get over the wall?
Right. Right. How would that fit together? Okay. Yes. I think if Falafel was able to coax the bird back into shape, right, then the bird would be able to stand up, and from there, Fliz would be able to climb up on top of the wall from there. Would it be difficult? No, this is a really big bird, right? So you'd be able to kind of see up above the wall from there. And are you looking for the egg, or are you looking for something else?
I think if Flop is climbing up there, is pushing up the pot a little bit so it can see out from under, and is looking for the egg specifically.
Right. Interesting. Okay, so it's Flop, and I somehow got mixed up. Was it Flop or Fliz, or both?
We're so easy to mix up.
Oh, yeah,
Flop was the one who was feeling bad about the egg and got told to go find the egg, although I'm not sure Fliz was looking to return the egg, but, I'm working under orders here.
All right, cool. So now I think I need an illustration just so I can keep track of things. All right, so we've got the bird, who is now blue. And yes, this is a bird, okay? Nobody laugh.
I love it.
It looks just like the other illustration. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Long legs.
Yeah. And then we've got Flop, who's up on top of the bird and who looks strangely like Beaker. And then we've got the cat, who is orange in color, I think.
Yeah, orange is good. And I think they're down by the little feetsies doing the little twisty thingy.
Aww.
Yeah. Where is Fliz at this moment? Also on top?
No, I think I'm on the ground.
Or down below?
I'm trying to pick up all the things I threw out of my backpack to find my chocolate maker.
Nice. Good. Okay, good. So, yes. So that means only Flop is able to see from up here that yes, the egg has fallen over, and as eggs do, it has cracked. And it's about to hatch. It's on the other side though. And it's not necessarily obvious like how to get there from here. Like you can see a bunch of winding, twisty like hallways from up here. Or I mean you could just like hop over, but then you'd fall down on the other side and you wouldn't be able to get back up again, I think.
I do believe we have a net.
Room. A net. Yes, a net.
Could it be a net gun?
Net. What? A net gun? Well, of course. Obviously, chaos scientists. Absolutely, it has to be a net gun. From now on, it is a net gun. I've got a map that, it's actually for something else in the book, but this is fine. This will do. You see it in this mess.
Yeah.
There's a mess of other junk over on that side, too. So, so that's what you see on the other side of the wall. Nice little room there. Okay, so you're going to climb down on the net, right?
Oh, climbing. That's an excellent idea.
That's what you meant, right? That's not what you were thinking? What were you thinking? Something about, you were going to use the net to pick it up and pull it back.
At first I thought that seemed like a little too sensical. So then I was thinking that you could shoot Flop with the net, then Flop would jump and go get the egg and come back. Because the net's tied to the end of the net gun, right? It's kind of like, it's got a harpoon rope. But but setting down the net and climbing it sounds a little orderly, but could work. It's
Who carries the
reasonable.
net? Seems like Fliz carries the net, right? Fliz carries the net?
We have
Flop
nets.
carries the net?
He has a net gun and I
got
have
net.
a net gun.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Okay, good. Yeah, you both got net guns. Okay, good. So, so Flop attaches the net to the bird, I guess, or Fliz shoots the net up and then down again over the wall.
I like
and
that.
one of those, maybe both. Yeah. Okay. So Fliz, you shoot the net up and over the wall, and then on the other side, hopefully it doesn't hit the egg. If it did, that would be really sad. And then you're gonna climb on down. Now, I think we don't have a lot of time left, but I think there's enough time for one more little bit of trouble or difficulty that you might run into. And so, yes, I know. All right. So are you ready for the possibility of some trouble? Because I shouldn't just give you... Do you want the trouble, or do you want to play Rodigo for it? Sometimes you just want
I'm
trouble.
good with trouble.
Don't bother playing Rodigo. You want trouble?
We got
All right,
trouble
let's give you some
right
trouble.
here in River City.
Let's give you some trouble. Definitely going to get trouble. So, yeah. Okay, so you're climbing down, and then you notice the sound of another song. Abby, have you got like a mischievous song?
Yes, I think so. Hold on.
Really? I can't be so lucky. Really? Right. I don't know about you, but most people can't be, like you can't sing on demand a mischievous song. But that's serious class right there.
Okay, I have
gotta
one
give it
called
to you.
"Come and Join the Fray."
Yes.
One of our original songs.
Right.
So, fire foes, battle woes, come and join the fray. Hear a shout, all come out, stand with us today. Together we must heed the call and claim a victory over all. Fire foes, battle woes, come and join the fray.
Nice. Excellent. Okay, good.
Amazing.
So that is the sound of the Wish King and his wishes, who are charging down, the hall, and they're singing la 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 la, and they sound something like pirates singing a shanty, as they kind of fly on a ship of clouds. I'm thinking there's this cloudy ship, misty, wispy, cloudy like ship. And then as they get to the hallway, and you're standing there, and you're about to reach the egg, okay, Flop? And then you see them coming, and they see you there, and there's this moment where you kind of look at each other, and you notice the other one is looking at you, so you look back at them, and then the wispy cloud disappears, and the Wish King, who just looks like a really big wish, kind of like Peter Pan, plus let's get a My Little Pony in there, something like a purple colored Peter Pan with a big mane, and a tail. Why not? And then rainbow wings pop out of his back, and he says, "Charge!" Because they want that egg, and they're gonna get it.
Uh-oh. All right.
Uh-oh.
I'm thinking Flop. He's gonna grab the net, jump into the net with the egg. Just we're all bundled up in the net, and shout, "Reel it in! Reel it in!"
Nice. So, Fliz, you get the message. Reel it in, reel it in. I don't know. Maybe you could have heard something of the song. You might have a clue about what's going on. I assume you reel it in, right?
Oh
what's the
yeah,
fastest
definitely.
way you
I'm
can
like
reel
going,
it in?
like super
You're
fast,
boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
like a
Nice.
fishing pole.
And yeah. And Cece, I get from your action that you're helping. Like you run over and you're like, no, not fast enough, right? Can you describe
I'll
that
do
for
my
me?
best.
Nice. Okay, cool. So the two of you working together at it, you've got a shot, right? It's possible. So, Abby and Cece, will you play Rodigo with me at least one more time?
Absolutely.
Yeah? Ready? Okay. Ready, go! Oh, it's a miss. Oh no.
No.
Oh no! We got
I wanted to
one.
win.
We got a miss in a
did?
match,
What-
didn't we? Because I
we
did
did?
too,
I showed this
but
one.
Abby did a 5.
Yes.
So
yes.
5
Yes.
is
Great.
close
Great.
to.
Great. Great. You're right. That's a win. You're right. You're right. I got mixed up.
Awesome.
Yes.
You're right. I'm so glad you're right. Yay. Okay. Good. So, that's a win, but that's not a match. That's not a match. But it is a win. So that means you pull up the egg just in time, and you bring it up, bring the egg and flap up and over the wall, and they fall back on top of you. And you want to catch the egg, and just then, that's when the egg hatches, and out comes a little cute baby bird.
Oh.
And the mother is reunited with the bird, and it's just like the cutest moment in the world until you remember the wishes can fly, right? So
Uh-oh.
that you hear the sound
Oh
of
no.
"Don't let them get away!" And the pirate king wish thing guy, he comes up, ha ha, charge again, and they're literally on top of you. Now what?
Horses like sweet things. Pick up the chocolate ball, nerds. The
Pick up the
chocolate pop
ball.
rocks.
Nice. This is great. Okay, so you pick up the chocolate pop rocks, and I think I know where you're going with this. Where do you go? What do you do with it?
Throw it.
At the wishes, in the hopes that the wishes will.
Or like the Wish King.
The Wish King in particular. What are you hoping he'll do?
Eat it.
And what will happen when he eats it, do you think?
He'll be happy and give us the wishes back. Because chocolate makes you happy.
Okay. Nice. Okay, good. So
He's just angry. That's it.
Angry.
he's really mischievous. He seems to have left the dragons on a whim, as you would expect from anybody who looks like Peter Pan. He seems to have just been like, I'm bored, and like gone off and taken his wishes with them. But it also seems like perhaps chocolate might be just the thing, to get him back on track. But I need some help. This is Abby's idea. Dan and Cece, what do you think? Is that likely or unsure to succeed? Or definitely going to succeed? Don't even play. What do you think?
I think
it's definitely
likely.
not unlikely.
It's
think
hard
it's
to argue
Likely
with
to
chocolate.
succeed?
So, yeah, pretty likely.
Likely. But not guaranteed, right?
Right.
I mean, it is the wish
Because
king.
there's
And the win.
also pop rocks in the chocolate. So we don't know how he's going to react to the pop rocks in the chocolate.
True.
True.
So he might love
Might be
it.
a nasty surprise.
Like when you put sparkling water in your dog's water bowl and they're like, what is this? Why would you do that?
I've actually had chocolate
Never
with
done
pop
that
rocks in it,
before.
and it's really good.
It is, yeah. I love
Yeah.
Pop Rocks and I love chocolate. But I haven't mixed
It
them
works.
together, but I think I will. Yeah. Excellent. All right. At least one more time. Here we go. Ready? Go. All three of you. It's likely to succeed. Remember.
Yeah, all right.
So this is our big finale, I think. Ready, go. That's a win, and there's 2 wins. No, it's a win and a match. Woohoo! All right, very nice. Okay,
right.
good. So that means yes, it's a miraculous moment. Fliz throws the chocolate, and it flies through the air, soaring majestically through the misty clouds until it lands right in the pirate Wish King's mouth because he's shouting "Cha!" So delicious. And he falls asleep. And he is out cold, snoring loudly. And all the other wishes are like, well, now what should we do? I don't know what to do. Do you know what to do? I don't know what to do. Maybe she knows what to do. Do you know what to do? I also don't know what to do. What should we do? And that's like, they keep repeating themselves. What do you do now? Because you've got a mission, right?
Put the wish king in the pot.
That's the only way this can go.
And so, so naturally, as after you put the Wish King in the pot, the other wishes will go, oh, the Wish King is in the pot. Oh, the Wish King is in the pot. Quickly, follow the pot. Follow the pot. So now, back to the dragon. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. So I think we're ready to roll credits. You bring it back to the dragon. The dragon's like, my wishes. Oh, and the wishes are like, oh, play, and they forget everything. And the Wish King keeps on sleeping. And imagine that we have just one more sad moment on the falafel. Yes, falafel's face, as he hopes. I think you said he before. He hopes to once again have another chance at catching his golden mouse one day.
And you just hear like a small squeak in the background and see his ears perk up.
Oh.
See.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
We did it, you guys. I don't know about you, but I'm just satisfied there, I think.
That was
Are you satisfied with your
awesome.
ending?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yes.
Excellent. Very nice. Thank you so much for playing Rodigo with me today. This was really fun. I had a great time meeting you for the first time and also playing together. A wonderful story. Nothing like what I expected. Not even a little bit. I'm so glad. That's what I love about it.
We're chaotic.
Yes.
Thank you for running.
Yeah, I love
This
it.
was
And that was
great.
amazing. Thank you.
So much fun.
Hello. That was so good, you guys. That was fantastic. Thank you so much for a fantastic story. Hey, everyone in the chat, round of applause. Throw out your favorite emotes for this wonderful cast. What a fun and fantastic story. That was so cool. I loved the ready go aspect of the game. I thought that was really cool. And thank you, David, for running such a fantastic
Thank you for having me.
one-shot. Yes, absolutely. So everyone, that concludes our one-shot for today. That was fantastic and amazing, and I'm so glad that so many of you were able to tune in and enjoy this story along with us, this premiere of Ready Go on this channel for Scribbler Hug 2022. So, as promised, I think a lot of you in the audience probably already have this game, so we don't have as many people entering the giveaway. However, we are, we'll work with Dave, and I think there are going to be 5 community copies of Ready Go now
Excellent,
put out
yeah.
on itch to celebrate this. So thank you all so very much for
Yeah.
your continued support, keeping the hype train going along with the players. And I wanted to give a couple of quick announcements before we take a short break before going into our next program. So we are at 380 for Become. And we are at 360 for War Child. I think we
Awesome.
could probably get to
Oh,
400 by the end of the day. This is so much more than I had dared to hope for our Scribbler Hug event this year. So thank you everyone so much for your continued support. However, I do have a special announcement to make. So we've been raising a lot of funds and awareness and support for World Child and Become players. However, at the very start of Scribbler Hug, back when we were promoting this weeks ago, we did say that we were going to announce a very special community support fundraiser for another creator within our TTRPG community who is near and dear to our hearts. And I want to go ahead and announce that now. I've already spoken to them off stream to give them a little bit of a heads up, and they are touched and very grateful for this. So I want to also boost a special GoFundMe for World of Chord. I don't know how many of you are following Miranda on Twitter, but at World of Chord D&D, she runs a Dungeons and Dragons blog telling the tale of her child's first D&D campaign, working together with musicians and educators, bringing in the next generation of TTRPG adventurers. She is absolutely fantastic and a bright and shining light of positivity and just wonderful storytelling in our community. Miranda in the past has been able to recover from cancer. I'm not going to go into all the details, but that process has led to continued medical challenges later on. So one of their very close friends has started up a GoFundMe page, and we want to support that GoFundMe page here on our stream for this final day of Scribbler Hug. And I'm going to put that link in the chat. I'm probably going to try to get like the bit.ly link in there as well at some point. But it's not just going to be today. Because for this campaign, help Miranda get her smile back, we need more than one day. We need more than half a day. So we are also going to be planning a very special event for Miranda, for family-friendly creation after the holidays in the new year. So that is our special announcement. Obviously, we do want to continue to support World Child and become players, but now Scribbler Hug is all about Miranda and World of Chord D&D. Please share the news. I haven't put this on Twitter yet because I wanted to get that final thumbs up from Miranda first. And yeah, please spread the word. We're going to promote that, and we're going to take a short break before we come back for a special creator chat. And I think Miranda will actually be joining us for this next event. So stay tuned. I'm going to keep the stream up, but put us on the holding screen so we can prepare in the background. And we will see you again soon. Thank you so much for your continued support, everyone. And let's keep this Scribbler Hug going just a little bit longer to support an amazing creator in our community. All right. I'm going to call it there. Much love, everyone. Thank you so much, and we will see you again soon. Catch you later. Bye.
Thanks all. Bye.
Hello, everyone! Welcome back, Scribblers! We are live once again here with you for Scribbler Hug 2022, and this is our last event. This is our last event of the day. This is our last event of our Scribbler Hug Charity streaming week, and I am so very excited and grateful to have this final event with two creators that I absolutely admire and look up to. We have Steph and Miranda. Everyone give a warm welcome, lots of virtual hugs to our guests. Would you like to go ahead and quickly introduce yourselves for some folks who maybe have not met you before?
But Steph.
You want me to go first?
Go, Steph, go.
I am Steph, and I run the TTRPG Kids website. So I do a lot of game reviews, all like kid-friendly or like kid-focused games, most of which I play test with my 4-year-old. I also write my own games. There's a whole bunch for like all the way down to like 2 years, and then all ages ones, so the whole family's engaged. And then I do interviews, creator spotlights, just trying to build up the like TTRPGs for kids community, and help them get the word out about how awesome these games are. Happy to be here.
I'm Miranda of World of Core D&D. My husband and I are both musicians and educators, and we run tabletop RPGs for kids, mostly our kids, but also out of our local gaming store. We've taken some courses with Game to Grow, and we really are big advocates for the educational and therapeutic benefits of playing tabletop RPGs with kids and teenagers and even adults. And we run a blog of our family campaign that kind of does a transcript, but also it follows our daughter's progress with confidence and anxiety issues and how playing with her has helped her. And it's helped her a lot. And I love both of you. You both are absolutely awesome, and I'm happy to be here.
Oh, shucks. So I'm going to quickly put the links to both of those fantastic resources in the chat. So we have corddnd.com, and we have... I should have had this queued up before. Why didn't I do this before? And I know I have, here you go, ttrpgkids.com. So I'm dropping those links in.
For all things
right?
that you need for kids.
Right?
It is such a good resource.
And also, shout out to Game to Grow as well, because I remember having some meetings and learning from them way back when at the start of my journey as a family-friendly creator and doing storytelling workshops, and I learned so much from them. I ended up definitely adopting some of the techniques that they use. Obviously, we don't have them supporting the stream today. I didn't even think about it. Maybe next time we'll get Game to Grow.
Next time we'll get them in there.
Yeah, that would be so cool. But yeah, definitely go check them out. So today our focus is going to be talking about family-friendly creation. What does it mean to be a family-friendly creator? What were some of those points of inspiration? We'll talk about origin story kind of stuff a little bit, and we'll go into how we see the importance of storytelling and play in mental health, in well-being, in community building, all of those wonderful things. And we've been talking about community building and helping children and bringing people together a lot all week, because of course we have been supporting wonderful charity partners, War Child and Become. Y'all know who they are at this point. I want to thank all of you for all of your support. We've got 380 for Become and 360 for War Child, and I'm going to keep both those Tiltify pages open until like the end of the day, and maybe even till the end of the year. I don't know. But we have done so much more than I could have imagined. And as promised, today is actually going to be a shift in our community support, community fundraising focus. And we talked about this off stream, and I didn't want to spring it on you live as we already discussed, but we have, of course, a very special creator here with us. We have Miranda, World of Cord, and as I did announce at the end of our last stream, we want to shift our fundraising focus now on Miranda's GoFundMe. And I don't know, to whatever degree you feel comfortable talking a little bit about that, Miranda, I would like to give you the
Sure, try not to
opportunity
cry
now.
again.
I know.
Yeah. So when I was 14, and I mean freshly 14, 3 days after my birthday, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I went through intense chemotherapy and radiation. And about 19 years later, I've gone through a series of side effects from the treatment that I received, but around that 19-year mark, uh, my mouth started falling apart. The radiation killed my teeth, and I am losing them at a pretty rapid rate. You can't really see it too much right now because it's happening to all the back teeth. Um, and unfortunately, insurance is not paying for getting it fixed because the hospital where I had my radiation purged the records. Apparently, that's a common practice, but I wasn't notified. Children's, where I had my chemo and my surgeries and everything, they digitized it. I have all of that, but I had to go to another hospital for my radiation, and there's no evidence of it. So insurance won't pay for it, and it's pretty pricey to get all of this replaced. I had scans done. I had enough bone to get implants. They said that I was, I agree. Angry emoji, definitely. Have enough bone to have implants. Because of the radiation, dentures will not work because of the damage it could cause to my gums. These days, they do give mouth guards and other guards for radiation. My radiation was here, so it just got my mouth. I'm also a risk for breast cancer, skin cancer, heart failure, lung disease, all this other kinds of things as well. But I'm a very good patient. I go to my doctors every year and have scans done, and I'm on top of it. It's just there was nothing we could do to prevent it. We're trying to come up with the money to get it fixed still. I've only got I'm fourth of the way there right now. I still have a long ways to go. And it's just, I'm sorry for anyone if this makes them uncomfortable. It's falling apart at a rate faster than I can get it fixed. Eating is very difficult right now. I drink a lot of protein shakes, really soft foods. So, yeah, that's kind of where I am right now.
And healthcare in the US is such a crapshoot. It absolutely is. And I think the whole world knows that now. So,
Yeah.
Scribblers, we want to do what we can to help a creator who's very important to us, right? Emphasis on crap. And you mentioned before we went live that this is an uncommon thing. This is an uncommon kind of diagnosis, and people don't really know a lot about it. So thank you so very much for your willingness to talk about it and raise awareness for this as well. So what we want to do, one event, one afternoon is not enough for this. So in the new year, Scribbler Hug is coming back. So give it a couple months or so after we get through the holidays, after we get through the chaos of January and all of that. But Scribbler Hug is going to be coming back to support wonderful Miranda here and also raise more awareness about this kind of diagnosis and about the care and about how the medical system sucks in America. So
this is not a side effect you hear about too often.
It's not.
I had to find specialists that knew how to deal with radiation patients to help fix it. So
yes,
and I'm still trying not to cry. Thank you so much.
I'm not gonna ask you to say it anymore, but thank you so much. And everyone, we have a new command in the chat for GoFundMe. It is smile, so you put !smile for bringing the smile back. So please spread the word for that. Yep, thank you very much, Steph, in there. I see you in that chat, Snaky. So with that, let's talk about something that many of us do turn to when we are looking for community and togetherness and that feeling of just uplifting storytelling goodness. So let's talk about gaming. because ultimately that is something that brings this community together. And I think that there are a lot of reasons why you have certain types of people brought into the TTRPG family. There are a lot of different characteristics that I think we have in common. We have that love of storytelling. We share that love of embarking on great adventures and making a difference in the world and doing things with fellow heroes that maybe we don't always get to do in normal day-to-day humdrum life. Please forgive me, I've got a puppy tearing up some cardboard in the back there. She's having fun. It's fine. It's Christmas. She can open up some boxes that have nothing in them. It's good. Yes, hello puppies.
Upper on screen is always a good omen.
I've got two of them. One of them is currently doing a big old stretchy on the carpet. So yes, let's talk about gaming and family-friendly TTRPGs and game design. So I came up with a few different discussion topics that we can go through, and I'd like to keep it free-flowing. I want to share stories. If anyone in the chat would like to tune in, because I know we've got some other creators and gamers hanging in there with us today, as you have been all week. Thank you. Let's share some stories. Consider this a little bit like the chill creation streams that we have on here sometimes. So the first question, and I'd like to hear your origin stories with this one. What inspired you to write? And specifically, what inspired you to write games for children? And we'll start with Steph. Let's hear your origin story.
My origin story. Okay. So, I really got into tabletop RPGs. Actually, right after I had my kid, I was going through some stuff. There was a lot of changes in life that sort of happened with that, and my brother had recommended that I start listening to Critical Role. Got really into that and listening to it on the way to work and things like that. That led to me starting up my own game, got really into writing and world building and loved just creating that. It was a creative outlet that I hadn't really had in my life for so long, and it felt good. Went through that running games with my friends and stuff like that, and then the whole shutdown everything sort of happened. Work situation kind of wasn't working out, and I found myself going from being at this very intense 60-hour a week engineering job to being at home with a toddler full time. So I ended up I needed something to do. And I ended up making tabletop RPGs for my kid and starting to run with him, both because he wasn't getting a lot of social interaction aside from with me, and I wanted to make sure that he was getting practice handling social situations that a kid his age is going to experience versus him only socially interacting with adults. So my husband and me, and having that isolated environment. So it allowed us to role play situations from his perspective, and to try and help me to understand him and be able to get in that headspace to help him learn and grow while this situation in the outside world was all chaotic. And then through doing that, I found a whole bunch of other people experiencing kind of similar situations, and all of this sort of culminated into me I needed to organize the research, put it into TTRPG Kids, and it just kind of kept expanding and growing. I found out I loved making games for my kid and that other people liked them too. So I've kind of kept up with that, and it's been a good feeling to help and have a creative outlet that other people appreciate and are using, and it's being helpful to others. So I don't know if that's maybe a little roundabout kind of zigzaggy story, but
aren't they all though?
They are.
Story,
Adventures don't have to be linear, and I would say the best adventures are the ones that take you across a multitude of experiences. I love that story. Thank you. And I do so writing these games, we write them for others, but we also write them for ourselves. And I really appreciate that you shared that part of your experience as well. Thank you. I think a lot of us have some similar connections to it.
There's a little bit of the writer, like, always in there. Like, it's for players and for other people, but there's, like, you're putting, like, a part of yourself into it, so.
You are sharing your soul and your spirit through everything that you create, whether it is writing or music or artwork, whatever it may be. I think it's a beautiful process. And before I keep rambling, because the people didn't come here to hear me talk, Miranda, over to you. Would you mind sharing a little bit of your origin story?
Sure. So my husband and I have been playing tabletop RPGs with our group of friends for forever. He got me into it shortly after college when we were engaged, and so we just been playing forever. We had our kids; they would come to us with us to game night. We taught them the safety of not eating dice. They'd have their own that they could roll, and so they kind of were around it all the time. And then the world shut down, and due to my medical history and my health issues, me and my kids were living in a bubble. We did not leave the house for a year and a half. We couldn't leave the house for a year and a half, but I was not sick enough for my husband to be able to stay home. So he still had to go to work. And our daughter does have issues with anxiety. Unfortunately, she gets that from me. And we saw PAX Online, I think it was Game to Grow, did this a presentation on collaborative world building that we watched, and we were just captivated by it. We were, oh, we got to do this with the kids, and we immediately signed up to take some Game to Grow courses. My husband signed up for the educator course, and I got to try that for free, and we're like, oh, we got to keep doing this. So he continued to take the educator classes. I started taking the therapeutic classes because my first degree was in music therapy. I was a board certified music therapist before I became a teacher.
That's amazing.
And we were just like, we have to do this with our kid. We have to do this with our daughter. Our son was a bit young still. We're like, he's just going to have fun with this. But we really wanted to do it with her. And so we built a world. We did this collaborative world building with her, and she was captivated by it. And she is such a huge storyteller. There are books all over the house of stories that she's written. She writes chapter books. Like, she was about 6 when we started. And the first couple of sessions, she kind of didn't know what to do. She was very shy, held back a bit. And then there was one session we were fighting skeletons underground, and she said, I want to do Thunderous Smite. We were like, oh no, she just did it. And we're like, okay, we're getting somewhere now. And I thought about it, because I was kind of taking notes on it. I was like, I want to start a blog about this. I want to follow her progress. So that's when I started the blog, and it was mostly just for us. And to follow and keep track of her, and then people started reading it, and I was like, okay, let's go. And so then we started just kind of pushing. There's so many benefits to playing these things with kids and adults, and we wanted to kind of share and spread awareness of there's so much good that these things can do for children. And so now our long-term goal is to open a nonprofit in our area to run these things for kids therapeutically and educationally. My husband does run some out of our local gaming store for kids. My daughter and her friend started. There's these other kids that have joined in, and it's helping them so much. So much. It's wonderful. And it's just kind of on from there.
That is amazing. And I couldn't agree more, seeing how much these types of games help children who are empowered and enabled to access them. Also, thank you for the follow, Luck of Legends. What's up? We've got Michael in the chat hanging out with us. Hello, friends. I think I know that's something that I found particularly inspiring as well, because stories, it's a timeless art form, right? It's how we, over the generations throughout human history, have been able to convey information and shared experiences and teach lessons, and to see TTRPGs as a modern day reinterpretation of sitting around the campfire and sharing stories and ideas and dreams and hopes and fears. It's an amazing evolution of the art, which is new and engaging, yes, but at the same time very primal. very resonant still. So I'd like to dive into some of those experiences you had a little bit more. So talking about how you see, how as an adult you see stories helping children grow. Could you describe a little bit more that first moment where you realized, oh, hold on, there's something here? What was that first spark of inspiration, if you will? Would you mind sharing some of that with us?
Boy, let's see. I mean, when we watched that collaborative world building panel that they did, we were sitting on the couch just watching it, and my husband and I both just kind of looked at each other. We were like, "Oh, we have to do this. We have to do this with our kid, like right now." My husband like ran and got paper and he started drawing.
Don't wait any longer.
just like, no, it's like we have to make a world with our child. And both kids got involved, and we did the whole thing, and seeing how just excited they were about it, like, this is a thing, we have to do this thing. And it's just, and then she got excited about it, and it was something that we needed desperately, because right before the world shut down, we were getting ready to start a new campaign with all of our friends, and then we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Our DM was not comfortable with the online thing at the time, and we were just like, we need this. And I don't know, it was just that click when we watched that panel. We have to try this. And then, she was so excited. She started looking through all of the books to pick out her race and her class. She was just so, she was still learning how to read. So she just went based on what the pictures looked like. She immediately was like, I want to be a dragonborn. We were like,
yes!
Yes,
Hooked.
you do!
Completely
and then,
hooked.
Of course, little brother was only like 4, and he wanted to do the same thing Sissy did, so he also made a dragonborn. We just picked a fighter for him because it would be the easiest thing for him to keep track with.
Good start.
We talked to her about the classes, and she's, I want to be a paladin. We're like, yes, you do! And she was so excited for it.
How old was she at the time?
She was 6. She had just turned 6.
Good age. Yeah.
And she loves to make up stories and tell stories and all this kind of stuff. We were like, oh, this is gonna be so good for her. But when we started playing, she just kind of was like her anxiety-filled self. She didn't know what to do. She was very uncomfortable. I tried a couple of different things with the character that I made. I at first tried to play my character very shy and quiet, so that she would have to step up, but it wasn't working. She would also just be shy and quiet. So I went the complete opposite direction. I became angry and loud, and everyone's stupid except me. And and so then she would have to step in and be like, well, no, this is the actual way you're supposed to talk to people. And that kind of worked. But then when she did that underground, under a smite, and it just threw everybody off, including Dad, who is the DM.
Mm-hmm.
That's when she started to come out of her shell a little bit. And that's when we knew, okay, this is going to work. This is going to help her. It's going to help a lot. And it really has. It really has. She has taken elements of what she's worked on in the game, and she has applied it to life. And it's been wonderful to see it. She is 9 now. We've been playing this game. We are entering year 3 of this game that we've been playing with them. And I like to go back sometimes and look at the analysis at the end of the blog that I write about how she's doing. And seeing how far she's come. I'm so behind on that blog, by the way, because then I had to go back to work, but I haven't. I'm working on it. I'm gonna update it. I promise.
Why do you think I'm not promoting my own blog right now? I haven't updated that thing in so
Still
long.
Got a good 50-something sessions up. But it's just been those little moments throughout. We keep having those like, oh, this is wonderful. This is working. Kind of things. Oh, we have to keep doing this, or that worked really well, we got to do that again. We've taken a lot of those game to grow elements and put them into how we work.
Excellent.
With our kids. And my husband has actually adopted a lot of those for the games that he runs for our friends too. It
works regardless of the age.
It works no matter who you're working with. It really does help everything. And she got super excited. She had just learned about Egypt in school. And so when we were doing the collaborative world building, she made this whole desert section that was just like Egypt, and
Oh,
that's where her
so
character
cool.
came from. It was so cool. Like, she made the food and the drinks and the landscape and just everything. And, you know, we all feel like we have ownership in this world that we're in because we all helped create it together. But then also, just to make it better, when I started telling my family that we were doing this, both of my brothers immediately went, well, we want to play. And I was like, wait, first of all, since when do you guys play these things? Because you've been harassing me for years about it. Apparently, they started watching podcasts and listening to podcasts and watching like streaming of, and they got into it.
Oh my god.
And I was like, yes, okay. So they would come over. We were all masked up, and like they were the only other people out in our house. But then we got the uncles involved, and so then our daughter got to have this time with her uncles that she didn't get to have before.
That's incredible.
Great. And then the godparents wanted to get involved. So now it's just this whole family thing. So like it's just a family game. You know, my son goes in and out because he likes to DM. He is going to be a future forever DM. He is amazing. He does the voices. He does everything. Oh my god. But it's just become this whole thing just based off that one panel we happened to watch at PAX Online. And we're very grateful for it.
It's such a magical thing. And listening to this story, and I'm thinking back to the kids that I was working with, the storytelling workshops. And unfortunately, I've had to move due to work, but I still keep in touch with them as much as I can. And, you know, they've all grown and gained their confidence as storytellers, and they're running games for each other and at their schools now and at the friendly local game store, and they don't need me anymore. And that's a beautiful thing.
That's what you want
to see. And
that's awesome.
I'm thinking back, and I saw very similar things where you have, because my youngest player was 6 when we first started out, and very similar, kind of quiet, withdrawn, very shy, didn't feel comfortable speaking up as much. And there were a few kids like that. And we had it where you had the kids, but you had their parents or older siblings joining in as well. We went through these storytelling workshops together where you're going through learning about dialogue and plot and perspective, and then kind of creating a setting as you go. Then the final one, it's a rotating GM thing. And you could see, even just within the span of a week, them start to figure each other out and start to learn how to work together because they're all invested. When you have ownership of that world, I think that makes a huge difference. So I'm a huge believer of that collaborative, not just storytelling, but story building aspect when you have multiple generations at a table. And 2 things warmed my heart the most, and those were the moments where I myself thought, okay, you know what, I'm gonna keep going with this. This is what it's about. 3 moments. Keep adding to it. 1, when you start to see the confidence building and you hear that empowerment in their voices when they come up and say, no, you know what, we shouldn't do that, let's do this. Or what about this? I think this. And you start to see that, and you start to see that balance and trust and respect growing within the group. 2nd, when I had a parent come to me and say, my kids didn't care about reading before. Now they're looking for books, and their grades are improving in school with reading and writing. That was a big one. Okay, so talk about like life skills, right? Absolutely. And it's not just like, oh yeah, I'm responsible for this. No, they're learning from each other. We just provide that environment where they can thrive. We provide those breadcrumbs and that guidance, but then they were learning so much from each other and from their own inspiration and passion that they hadn't really tapped into before. And there was another one too. A mother came up when we were first starting the workshops and like the intro games. Of course, we were using D&D at the time. Hey, my daughter wants to play, but she thought this was only for boys. I was the only female GM in the store at the time. So she said, can we play too? I said, heck yeah, you can. Come over here and look at these cool warriors that you can be. And it's a lot of it is just giving them ownership and feeling like, no, we can play in this world too. Regardless of age, regardless of whether or not they've read Lord of the Rings or all these different things, Warhammer, and great, that's fine, that's fun, it's all inspiration, right? But it was incredible to see how they started pulling that confidence from their heroes into themselves, because that's where it started all along. That's where it came from, and they just didn't fully realize it and tap into that themselves yet. Okay, enough of me. Steph, what was your magic spark moment or series of moments? This is so exciting. I love hearing these stories.
Oh, it's so good. So it was actually, I had gotten onto TTRPG Twitter because I was interested in like finding out more about running tabletop RPGs for my grown-up players. And it was kind of, I was looking for advice. Just trying to figure out what is everybody else doing, because I didn't really have, like, I'd played in a one-shot like a few years prior, but I never had someone GM a campaign for me. I was coming in just trying to figure it out on my own and looking up stuff online. So as I'm going through TTRPG Twitter, I came across World of Cord, Worm, and Daddy Rolled a 1. And these three, it's like, TTRPG Parent Squad was kind of like, I was like, oh, I'm following like these people, they know what's up, and seeing like all the cool stuff they're posting about, playing tabletop RPGs with their kids. And I was like, well, my kid's kind of young, but I'm like, I'm gonna try it. And that motivated me and like gave me the confidence to actually try out playing tabletop RPGs with my then 2-year-old.
Amazing.
Just kind of like slowly introducing with like interactive story time, bringing in a little bits and pieces of mechanics here and there, how to adjust the stories to fit his interests and things like that, and kind of like learning from the other TTRPG parents there. So World of Cord was a huge inspiration because like I was reading through your blog and you put the analysis about how it's helped your daughter at the end, and I was like, oh, this is great, because a lot of it was problems that I had when I was a kid. And like I saw as an adult how this was helping me untangle stuff that I didn't really know or had never learned how to handle up until this point. So that kind of like loops into like a second little element here, with I started playing tabletop RPGs with my kid with the intent of helping him and to allow him to grow. And we were focusing a lot on like the social emotional elements of it, because that was what I felt he kind of needed with the lockdown and everything that we needed to focus on. But then I sort of found out how it was helping me with relation to my kid. So I like, something that I think doesn't get talked about a lot is when you're a new parent, there's a lot of people that talk about how there's this instant bond with your kid, and how like there's this like natural connection and things like that. I had a hard time with that, like a really hard time with it. I love my son, definitely taking care of him, would jump on a grenade for him or whatever. It's just like, it's not about that. It's more about like actually being able to find that connection point and embrace it sometimes is really difficult for me. And there's plethora of reasons for that that I won't go into. But when I was playing this game with him, it gave me a frame to work within. It made it so much more comfortable for me to interact with him in a more relaxed kind of state and to grow in that sense with him. It fostered this amazing connection and made it feel natural. Like, I didn't, like, a lot of times I'll have to like consciously think about, this is what I'm doing in the social interaction and kind of like parse it out and stuff. I've got some neurodivergence stuff there that's, maybe root cause for some of that, but it helped me to kind of provide a frame and to connect with him so much more. and he reciprocated that, and like it helped us create this like feedback loop of a bond. And setting aside that time each day to do interactive story time has really helped both of us grow with each other, and to like form that bond with each other in a way that I don't think we would have been able to otherwise, or it would have probably taken a lot longer to sort of figure out. So it helped him so much, but it's helped me as well, and it's helped us to grow together. It's been I will say life-changing without exaggerating in any way.
I love hearing that.
That spark kind of hit both of us, I think.
That's
But
beautiful.
you're right, though, that not everyone has that instant bond with their kid, and it's not something that people talk about enough. I mean, a lot of people do have it, but then a lot of people don't.
Right, and then I feel bad, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like,
You're
stuff
doing
like that.
nothing wrong.
Nothing at all.
But
It's these
different
societal
people and
expectations.
experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Like,
tell us
past
we should act a
experiences
certain
can
way.
really-
And it's go ahead.
All right, it just like past expectations feed into it too. Or like if you didn't learn certain things because you didn't experience them or something, then it's like you're trying to figure it out for the first time, and it's really hard. Like, and sometimes like I haven't realized that like other people just naturally do that. So it's kind of like, just feel like I've been kind of behind, and it helped me to realize that I'm not. I just needed to find a different way to do it. So, and this provided that so much. So,
There are a multitude of ways we communicate, and we show love, and we grow attachment. So looking at it from the mental health and psychological point of view, I think a lot of people in the community have different, we'll say, flavors of neurodivergence.
Yeah.
Hey, we need t-shirts for this. I'm sure there already exists, but you know what? Let's talk about this after the stream, okay? And I think that also is something that is shared within the community, because we can tell stories in different ways. We can express things in different ways, and this gives us a tool to do so. And that idea of I'm not going to establish a bond with anyone I just met. I think in most cases, society understands that that's kind of a weird idea. And, there is nothing to be ashamed of or feel strange for with that. And I think it gives you more of an opportunity. It gives us more of an opportunity collectively to form those bonds on a completely different level. And it can go back to things we have or have not experienced in our lives and throughout our lives and into the future. And I think that this idea of finding new ways to connect and communicate and empathize and or sympathize through gaming is such a very healing thing. So I do not have children of my own yet, but I hopefully one day we'll see what the future has in store. But right now I've got my dogs and my cat and my partner, and I'm very, very happy about that. But I love working with kids, and I love seeing those family bonds and seeing bonds grow between children and parents and siblings as a third party telling these stories and running these games is an amazing thing. And from maybe a little bit of a different perspective as well, one of the reasons I started this was to feel closer to my mother. My mother and I had never played games together before like this. But when she passed away about 5 years ago, almost exactly 5 years ago, storytelling is something that she and I did share. And I started writing and trying to explore and share stories as a means of continuing her legacy, the legacy of someone with whom I had a very complicated and at times unhealthy relationship with. But that's okay. And whether it's with our children now or with people who come in and out of our lives, I think this is an amazing kind of tool that helps us grow in so many different ways. That's beautiful. And I'd like to, I know we're going a little bit out of order here. I think one of the next questions I had was Yeah, what's your favorite part of running games for young adventurers? And we touched upon that a little bit already, but maybe we can expand. I'd like to talk about these therapeutic benefits. What is it about storytelling? What is it about TTRPGs do we think makes it so effective at helping to forge bonds like this, at helping to battle things like anxiety and depression, and helping our each other through difficult times? And as we ramble on and share stories, those of you in the chat, if you have questions or comments you'd like to share, please drop them in. The more the merrier. I'm seeing some talk about Battle of the Bands arcs and other kids saying it's just for boys. No, it's not. It is not just for boys. Planning prom and Battle of the Bands in a game sounds amazing. And there are a multitude of different systems out there that you can use for these different things. It's not just D&D. That's very accessible and very widespread, so it ends up being an entry point for a lot of us. Is an entry point for me, for sure. I didn't grow up with these kinds of games, not like tabletop, but I think this is worth exploring. So yeah, let's talk about...
The Tabletop RPG Kids website has a lot of resources and other
It
games that
really
you could look at
does, it
besides
really
D&D.
It's so
There's like
amazing.
300 games on the list now or something.
Jeez!
Oh
my God! Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I see the business card quest on there. I've got it pulled up right now. We've got business card quest. We've got Winter Wonder Express, Skellion, Gliffy Scouts, lots of amazing things. I'm going to drop that link in there again. But yeah, so what is it about this hobby that can be so very healing? Let's talk about the healing aspect of it. What do you think, anyone? Yep.
When you set these up, you are creating a safe space. When you put together a campaign, when you put together a table of people, you are creating a safe space for children, teenagers, adults to explore these things. And now, these are not a replacement for therapy. This is not a replacement for therapy, but they can be therapeutic. If you need therapy, please go see somebody. Yes, but yes, it is. It helps so many people, but these can be therapeutic. You are setting up this safe space where people can explore these different aspects of themselves and can learn coping skills. They could learn, proper social emotional response. If you have to set it up and to an extent guide, especially if they don't know what the proper social emotional response is. They may not, or be able to connect to that. And being able to see other people and see how they interact and seeing consequences, whether they be positive or negative, and how my actions are affecting the world or just player next to me, but it's this safe space where, oh no, I messed up. It doesn't leave space. It's not, the roof is not going to cave in because you yelled at an NPC kind of a thing. But it gives this wonderful, safe world where they can trial and error and learn things. And one of my favorite benefits is where they can explore identities. And this means several different things. If the person is normally anxious and quiet, they can try out being assertive and seeing how that feels and seeing what kind of results that gets and learning it's okay for me to stand up for myself. It could be, I'm going to try different pronouns and see how that makes me feel, and going through that and, realizing their own identity through playing. It, once again, safe space. To find these different elements of themselves and allowing them to become themselves and say it's okay to be yourself. it's such a wonderful thing that can come out of these. Mhm. Daily. Multiple times in an hour.
Oh
Well,
no, I forgot to unmute myself for the stream as well. Sorry, just to be doubly safe in case the dogs start wrestling, I mute myself in OBS, but then also on my microphone. Yep, you hear me now? Perfect. Okay, so I'll just quickly repeat what I had said. It's
Awesome.
interesting to see how, with TTRPGs creating a safe space for exploring different perspectives and the role play aspect of it, those are approaches that you can see in a lot of therapeutic contexts as well. And thinking about how we, in our own day-to-day lives, go through similar sort of role play things where we think, well, this is what I wish I could say. This is what I would want to say. This is what I wish I would have said, or what I would have done in this kind of scenario. And then if you have an overactive imagination sometimes, you might generate scenarios for yourself and imagine how you might play through them. Yes, no, or are you normal?
all the time, just constantly. It's just always
All
there.
the time. And I think this is a nice and safe way to create an environment for that is simultaneously malleable, but also controlled, also moderated, mediated sometimes. And I think when it comes to mediation, this also provides a really good opportunity for conflict resolution and exploring different ways of approaching difficult situations and challenging topics. I'd like to pass it off there if anyone has something to jump in. This does not have to be a super structured conversation. Jump in at any time.
I will say there's maybe like kind of two things that maybe like little stories that kind of tie into this. So one is I think TTRPGs provide like how we talked about the safe space, that's also like a little bit of like self-removal that lets you see the situation from a different perspective. So playing with my kid, this was pretty early on, and I was sort of taking little issues that we maybe had throughout the day and then sprinkling them into our game so that way
Ooh,
we could
nice.
talk about them when my kid wasn't upset. So we had been running into, no, I don't want to eat dinner. No, I don't want to eat dinner. No, I don't like it. I don't want it. I don't want it. And I get down like, what's going on? Is it that you don't like the food? What's happening? And he's just, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. And I'm like, okay. So the next game we play, I'm like, okay, the dragon is in his cave and he's got dinner. What do you think he's got for dinner? And like going through and like, oh, they've got this and this, and like setting up the dinner plate. I'm like, okay, is the dragon going to eat dinner? No. I'm like, okay, why isn't the dragon going to eat dinner? The dragon's waiting for daddy. And I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. And it was because my kid was worried that my husband was still going to be in a meeting and not come down to dinner. So I didn't want to eat. And I'm like, it was, something that my kid didn't have the words for at the time. And this allowed us to tackle it at a different time and in a different headspace and actually figure out what the problem was. Like root cause the situation sort of thing. And we've done that with so many different situations that it's kind of the go-to now. If we've got an issue, we, de-escalate, talk through as much as we can. But if it's not something that we can fully resolve at the time, it's going to come up in a day or two in our game, and we can kind of tease out maybe what's going on in a safe place, where he's speaking through a character instead of as himself. So that really helps. the other one is kind of like the making connections, and like there's being able to test things out in the game, but then also seeing what everybody else is testing out and being open about too. In addition to TTRPG Kids, I do a lot of playtesting for Awfully Quick Heroes, and they had come out with a module called Adventures in ADHD that was about exploring neurodivergent elements, and not, as a replacement to therapy or anything, but as a way to talk about shared experiences and to be a means for like opening up about some of this. At the time, I'm like, okay, well, I can run it. I don't have ADHD, but I know a couple people who do, and then I like pose it to some of my players. Would any of you be interested? And they're like, oh yeah, I would love to do this. And like finding out, okay, well, all my friends are neurodivergent, and then we're like playing the game, and I'm like, we're talking about, sparking all these conversations about shared experiences, and like there's an NPC that comes up and we're like, oh, that's that thing, and that's that thing, and like we're picking out what it all is, and I'm like, okay, well, I experienced that, and that, and that, and I'm like, concern, and I was like,
how's that list
like,
looking?
Right, and I'm like, okay, we've got all these shared experiences, and it's different variations of neurodivergence. Like, the module is focusing on ADHD, but like there's a lot of different shared bits and pieces,
a lot of overlap. Yeah,
right. And so I'm like, okay, and it actually sparked me to go get like an evaluation, and I'm like, that helped me tremendously.
Wow.
And then when I got diagnosed, I was like, okay, well, like it was difficult to process and everything, as expected, I think. But I was also like, all of my friends understand. Like we had already built that foundation, and I'm like, I'm not alone. Like this isn't just me. And so I was able to see through that game, everyone started opening up in that safe space about their experiences. And then you could see like everyone was bonding with each other too. Like it was just kind of like, oh, I experienced that and I experienced that. And then like I was able to take that, and it built like a really solid foundation for me being able to cope with, this like the past year kind of trying to figure everything out. And it's just been like, it was really good. And for my kid, I can see, there's certain things that he's dealing with and stuff like that. This is going to be a good way to help him too, to be able to express and explore that in a different way. Already at like pre-K, he doesn't really want a nap. And
a lot of kids don't.
Yeah, he hasn't for quite a while. Like most of the class does. There's maybe like a couple who don't. But I gave like some of the story guider stuff to the teacher and was like, if he's got a story that is occupying him, he will stay focused and do the worksheets. And so she's trying it out with him and the other kids who don't want a nap. And it's providing like a focus point to get them all into that. And like they share this story time and worksheets now. And I'm like, we just made like a toddler TTRPG group.
You really did. That's brilliant.
So, yeah.
That's great.
So there's just like so many little bits and pieces that kind of come together. Like talk about this for like days.
Oh yeah,
But,
no.
Yeah.
We'll have
Going back off like the
continuations.
first thing that you had said, like with your son and helping him through like dinner time, we have done that so many times with our kids. So we keep going through these power struggles at home because my daughter is older, my son is younger.
Yeah.
And so my husband, just as just one example, he created this character that was acting like our daughter was towards her brother.
Yeah.
And to kind of help her see you're being bossy.
Yeah.
You can't always tell people what to do, baby. We go through this. We have this power struggle every so often. I was like, well, come down. Sorry, my bird is flying around.
I thought I heard a bird somewhere.
There she is.
Oh
There
my
she is.
goodness. Bird stream. Yes.
But we created this, he created this character that was acting like she was. No, you don't get to chew on the mic. And she could kind of see, oh, I don't like that. And, we do that every so often with anything that they're struggling with. We kind of throw it into the game, and it either helps them realize, oh, I'm not behaving, or well, I could handle this situation this way.
Mhm.
I do want to put in, my son has been being bullied at school, and I would love to put in something. He's only 6 and we're dealing with this, but something to kind of help him cope and learn through that, because it's hard to just, what do you want? But there's so many things that they could learn just from experiencing it in the game and learn from it. And so when you're talking about your son dinner time and having that revelation, like, you can learn so much from them too through
Mhm.
this, because it is that safe space where I can talk about what's wrong without actually realizing I'm talking about what's wrong, and letting other people come in and help.
Mhm.
It's great.
So I think
Sorry,
this
she's
is an
being.
interesting. No, I love it. She wants to be a star, and
Oh,
she
yeah,
is.
she knows when I'm over here on this. She has to be involved.
Looking
Even
right
though
at the
she's got,
camera too. Great
Mhm,
stage presence.
she wants to chew on it. Uh,
So I think this
she,
is a great transition actually into a question from the chat. And I know we only have a limited bit of time left, but I want to make sure we have the chance to address some of these questions. Again, feel free to drop some stuff in there and we will get to as much as we can today. So, a question from GM Tim. What benefits have you observed as kids get to witness adults and you playing make believe and playing with them? So, as much as we learn from children and from watching children, what do you think they are picking up from us when it comes to these different types of topics? And we had a follow on to that. Let me find it. It was a really good one. Goodness. It was a recommendation from. Oh no, I've lost it.
was it with the one asking about gobbles?
Yes, ask you
Yes.
about gobbles in the context
All
of this
right.
question. Yes, got it.
Okay. So.
We'll hear your
Gobbles the
gobbles one,
Goblin.
then we'll go to Steph.
Gobbles the Goblin is played by my son's godfather, Kevin. He DMs another group for us, and he is the most ridiculous character. Naive, just adorable, and does the craziest stuff. He is my daughter's absolute favorite character in anything we've ever done. And when we brought Kevin into play, we originally brought him in. One, he's the godfather, but two, during the lockdown, and he was super depressed and just kind of locked in his room and wasn't talking to anybody. So we invited him to play, and he just lit up, and we loved having him. But her watching him play and just be off the walls, just goofy and hilarious, and she became more willing to try things and to say things, and there's a lot of gobbles, like a like a TV sitcom that she does.
I
And
love it.
and he gets it too. He often will open up prompts to her character to give her chances to lead, and he boosts her up. But just like rolling in that one and climbing up a tree, but ending up just going around the tree this way over and over, and just, am I up yet? And just read the blog. You will love Gobbles so much.
Can confirm.
He's great. He's so imaginative. It's so much fun to play with him. Just opened up this. She's got an incredible imagination. She was kind of holding back and afraid to let it out. And she felt justified in letting it out. Oh, adults can do this too. I guess I can do it. And it kind of allowed it, and just some of the story ideas that she's gotten just from watching him play. All right, bye. It's incredible how much he has inspired her to try things, and because I take pride in how weird my daughter is. She is weird like me, and just her feeling okay to be her weird self, not just in the game, but everywhere. Just from Gobbles the Goblin.
Oh, I like what GM Tim said in the chat. Permission to be wacky.
Yes.
It's okay
Yes,
to play and be silly and explore goofy, zany things.
Mm-hmm.
We have this there's like this societal misconception that a well-behaved child is a quiet one who doesn't play. And this allows children and adults to embrace play And I think that is very, very healthy.
Yes, at school, she is quiet. She's, teachers tells us she's like the dream child to have in their class. Meaning to brag on my own kids, but once you get her to open up, she is so weird. I love it. She's so creative. She makes all the faces that I make. She makes voices and does weird sounds, and I love watching her be her weird little self and seeing other adults being weird. And whenever I tell her how weird she is, I make sure she knows that that's a good thing and to embrace it, because I was so much happier when I embraced how weird and strange I was. I held it back, man. I got bullied and I held it back. She is just herself.
Yeah.
And she does not care what other people think at this point. Like, she was worried about it in kindergarten, but at this point, she does not care. She will be herself and doesn't bother her if other people don't get it or like it. And I wish I was as confident as she is now when I was that age. And playing these games has helped her accomplish that, because she gets to see the other adults
and see that it's okay.
And gobbles. Yes, and it's okay. It's okay to be the weirdest character ever and just have fun with it.
We embrace that. There are so many memes and like observational bits of comedy out there where we realize that as you grow and as you mature and as you move through life, you embrace the things that you enjoy, but then at some point in between like teenage and I would say into your 20s in a lot of cases as well, depending on the environment you find yourself in, you're kind of taught, no, that's not being adult. You must repress and hide and crush down all of these different things. But then that like period of self-actualization is saying, no, screw all that. I'm weird and I like being weird. And I enjoy pursuing things that bring me joy. So this hobby helps the multi-generational table of gamers in so many different ways. And I like what Almost Bedtime said in the chat. RPGs are a great place to not have to make the wise choices. So any other stories we'd like to share with that? Steph, did you have some experiences to share with kids learning from the adults at the table?
100% to the it's okay to have fun, and that when you grow up, the fun doesn't stop. Like, you're not going to hit a point where you're just like, oh, I'm an adult now, I have to give up the things I like. I never want my kid to feel that.
That's been a thing that I'm trying to teach other adults too with this, is
Right?
you're still allowed to have fun as an adult.
You hear that, folks? Go have fun. Go.
Yes.
Do it now. Maybe after the stream, we like hanging out with you. But today, go do something crazy and zany and fun just because it sparks joy.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
It is okay to let that out. Just, it doesn't, and, people are like, oh, tabletop RPGs, D&D, it's nerdy. Yes, it is. I'm a nerd. I like that. And that is okay. And that's where, like, I hope he sees that and embraces it. And then also, I think it's helped me to show him and him to learn I am listening to him. I want to hear his stories. I am setting aside time for him to talk, and where I am just going to listen. He gets to say whatever he wants. It's within, like, a little bit of reason, I'm not gonna let him start, like, dissing on me or anything if that ever comes up.
Sure.
Necessarily be like, let's watch our words here.
Be respectful to others in your pursuit of fun.
Mm-hmm. As long as it is, like, respectful, he gets to say whatever he wants, tell whatever story he wants. I am going to listen and participate and will be there for him. And
that's teaching him such good lessons too for when he's older.
Yes, exactly. That he has a support system. He has a means of communicating with other people. Like, even if it is, just within the structure of tabletop RPGs, he has that. Like, that's a tool that we can use later to make friends and create connections if, even if the lessons don't extend out of there 100%, like it's a like tool that we can use. And then he knows that I'm there and we share this and we have a hobby together and have this connection. And I think that's like the most important thing for me is that that I'm seeing through him is, yeah, it's helping with like social emotional connections and things like that that I think would have been a lot more difficult to manage like outside of this, but he also knows that I'm there and that the adults that he's playing with are there for him. They're paying attention to him. They're listening. And we're treating him like a person instead of like a little kid. Like he has autonomy within the game to make choices, to world build, and to participate just the same as everybody else at the table. So he doesn't have a different role. He is a player or a game leader just like any of us. So he sees that like same level.
Autonomy. I want to focus in on that because that is such a huge thing. How wonderful does it feel? We'll start with how wonderful does it feel when, as adults, to know that you are listened to feel as though you are heard and people are respecting what you have to say and the choices you are making with your own personal autonomy. And that's something that a lot of people might take for granted because that is not consistent across the board in different social and cultural contexts. It's not, unfortunately. Now, amplify that when you imagine how that must feel as a child. When I was a child, if I think back to like my childhood, I have trouble counting the number of times where I felt that as a young person. And I think that can be a product of a lot of different cultural shifts that we see in our different communities, in our different societies. But the fact that this is something that we can teach kids and not to feel indebted to someone for being listened to, right? Because that's a very important thing too. It's not transactional. Yeah. It is your personal right as a human being, as a member of whatever that community may be. You should have the opportunity for your voice to be heard. It is empowering. It helps to build confidence. It helps to navigate this complex web of social interaction. And I think that is something that you really cannot put a price on at all. That's something that is so inherently important to our senses of self, regardless of your age, but especially starting from a young age. Where no, you have autonomy, which means you can have a say to varying degrees in an age-appropriate way of what you do and how you can communicate. But also that also means personal accountability too. Mm-hmm. So there are two aspects to that, I think. So when you have cause and effect, and there are ways to approach this in gaming, again, in age-appropriate ways. So, for example, one of the examples one of the stories I like to bring up a lot is there was a child who wanted to be a murder hobo, the wonderfully entertaining classic murder hobo, but start to try to steal things from every NPC they met in a town that they had just arrived in. It's like, okay, you can do that if you roll well and you play through it, but there are going to be consequences. Someone's going to catch you. That someone put a curse on them, giving them first a bright red feather on the top of their head. It was a fae. And the more they did it, the more their heads started to look like a chicken head. So everyone could tell that they were up to no good. Nothing against chickens. And then they realized, oh, okay, just because I can do this doesn't mean maybe I should. But they were able to talk about it. And moving on, they started actually standing up for other NPCs more as well. And they felt like they could. They felt empowered, like they could stand up and make these decisions and navigate in the way that they felt comfortable. But I think that's a very valuable lesson. Also, yes, thank you, Tim. Gotta run and take the kiddos sledding. That's fantastic. Have a wonderful time. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you later. Okay, so I know we are getting closer to the end. We're going to start trying to wrap up. I would like to close with one more thing. So we're talking a lot about the benefit of TTRPGs and storytelling from like individual personal standpoints. I'd like to talk a little bit about community, because we started off this stream and started off Scribbler Hug event talking about how these games and this hobby brings people together, and how the idea of storytelling and play can help communities grow stronger together, even through adversity. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have some stories or observations to share there? And how do you think we can use this hobby, use this game to bring it beyond the individual experience, but then into the community building experience as well? Anyone can go first.
I will say, like, personally, it's allowed us to have a better bond with our own family, with my brothers. My kids get to spend time with their uncles. You know, we've and you know, and it's helped us so much. With kids, it's like one of the groups that my husband runs. The parent came up to him and said, "I thank you so much for doing this. My son actually now has something to look forward to." This kid had been,
Oh my goodness.
depressed and just alone, not a lot of friends, and he had something to look forward to. And just especially with kids, making friends that you wouldn't have made before, meeting new people, or if you just don't have any friends, being able to make friends,
That's
Um,
huge.
I know this is huge for us personally with our daughter and now her BFF. They bonded over Dungeons and Dragons at recess one day. They were in the same class. They hadn't really talked. My daughter was just offhanded mentioned it, and she went, "I think my brother's playing that." And it turned out that her brother was joining the group that my husband was doing, and so she joined in too. And these two girls just became so tight. Allowing kids to just meet new people and make friends and feel welcome and wanted and accepted. And then they can take those experiences with them as they go. It's allowing these nerdy, wonderful children to find a home that they wouldn't have found otherwise. And then they will be able to make what are hopefully lifelong friends and take all the good that they've learned and put it into the world. I love seeing these kids come together. And like I said, having a home together, it's wonderful.
I think so. Like I doing like research for TTRPG Kids, I've gone through like a lot of forums and like different articles people have written and things like that, and I see so many experiences being talked about where there's a lonely kid joined a D&D group or another TTRPG group, got really into it. Once they got old enough, they started their own group, pulled in a whole bunch of younger kids, and then those kids started their own groups. And it creates this kind of like cycle of that one person who first started the group has caused this whole branch of now there's like 100 people playing it, and have gotten the benefits from it, and they're all connected through hobby and have this shared understanding of what it means to play tabletop RPGs. There's organizations that are using tabletop RPGs to do so much good. Things like charity streams, or using them for writing labs, for teaching like educational skills that kids are struggling with. They can find an interest in it, find other kids who are struggling in the same way, but then be able to work together and figure out, how are we going to do this? Are we actually interested in this? What direction do we want to take? It's about so there's like kind of micro scale community where it's maybe like the D&D tables and finding like your close-knit group of friends, and then there's kind of like a little bit bigger where there's structured classes and things like that. And like kind of charity resources and like expanding until you get to, there's literally this just whole community. And if you go up to somebody and you're like, hey, I like your shirt. You notice that it's, got TTRPG stuff on it. Yeah. You're like, oh, hey, you've got this common point that connects you to like hundreds of thousands of other people instantly. You know what to talk about. It's like we talked about D&D being an entry point to tabletop RPGs for a lot of people. TTRPGs as a whole is an entry point for a lot of people into friendships, and just having
So
that
true.
common point of interest,
Yeah.
being able to get the courage to go up to somebody and say, oh yeah, we're both into this, like, you want to talk about it more? And there's always, you know, tons of stories about, oh, my character did this cool thing, and like, oh, I did this and I did that. And it's a way of telling about yourself and the things that you've like vicariously experienced through your character without actually having to talk about like yourself in a sense. You can kind of learn about the other person that way. It's interesting, like from a social standpoint, but it just creates this whole massive web of um everybody in the TTRPG community being able to like have some confidence in talking about that and approaching other people to join that community and be part of it.
Then you meet these wonderful people, and then you get so many more new ideas. And, tabletop RPG Twitter is like the most wholesome place on the internet. And
It really
I have
is,
met
y'all.
so many amazing people and have learned so much from everybody there that we can take and apply to our little family game or the games that we're doing with these other kids, and would you cut that out? Sorry, she's upset because I'm not giving her enough attention.
Of course.
Drama queen. But and then the community grows and it comes together, and then it's like I'm having this issue with this one player, or with this one kid, I don't know how to fix it, and you can just go to the community and they have so many wonderful ideas, and you find the thing that clicks with that player that makes it work or that helps that kid. And it may not make a difference in the world, but it does make a difference to that one person's world.
Right.
It's so great. It's wonderful how, oh, we're just playing a game. You are learning and helping so much by just playing this game. Like, a lot of times they don't even realize how much it's helping.
We should never, ever underestimate the power and impact of play.
Yes.
And
kids
stories.
learn through play. There's no reason that adults should not continue to learn through play either.
The moment we stop learning and we stop embracing play and stories, the world's a dark place when that happens. Okay, so pending any other questions from the chat, I can't think of a stronger note to end on, to be honest. This was fantastic. And I want to be a good steward of your time that you have donated here today to be part of Scribbler Hug. I know that holidays are here. I'm not even going to say holidays are right around the corner. We're in the middle of the holidays, and I know that family plans are about to kick off for many people if they haven't already. So I would like to give a round of applause and warm hugs to our guests here, Miranda and Steph. Thank you so much for coming to share your stories. Of course, anytime.
I could sit here and talk with you guys for hours.
Right? And and that's the danger. So I think we are going to be having more of this. We will have more of this. Absolutely.
The next Scribbler Hug,
which is coming up sooner than you'd think. So this now is our wrap up for Scribbler Hug 2022. At the start of the week, we began, this has only been a 3-day event, folks. So at the start of the week, we began with sharing stories from War Child and Become, and we have done so much good, and our friends in those organizations are so impressed and grateful for the goodwill of this community through sharing stories and coming together to engage in play. See, that is the power of stories and play. So we exceeded expectations for those, and within the past hour alone, since we've started this stream, because we've actually been live for a couple of hours, we have seen now in that GoFundMe over 100. Just in this short blip of time. So consider this the transition. Scribbler Hug is not over. It will return We are simply taking a pause for the holidays. Thank you so much for your continued support, everyone. I am constantly reminded of how wonderful this community can be, because the world is full of challenges. Life is full of challenges. And we see that anytime we are so compelled when we turn on the news or look out the window and spend more than maybe 5 minutes online sometimes. But this community is so conscious of the world around us. We are so conscious of the impact of events and the impact we have on each other. And I think that is something very special. I think that's something that we are continuously cultivating collectively, all together. And I am very optimistic. And this kind of community, these kinds of events give me more hope too, that, you know what, games and stories can change the world, because we see it constantly, whether on the micro or the macro level. And once again, thank you so much for spending some of your holiday time with us today. I wish I could bring the whole Scribbler Hug team on here at once, but I'm going to be doing all the shout outs on Twitter and in the Discords. Thank you to everyone who donated some of their time and games for the giveaways to sponsor, even if they weren't able to come here and physically or virtually, whatever, donate some of their time to play games with us. And those of you who have been in the audience and followed us every step of the way with this adventure, we could not do this without you. Your support has made a difference in people's lives. And we will be back with the next Scribbler Hug, I suppose. The first Scribbler Hug of 2023, with bringing back the smiles. Maybe we'll call it Scribbler Smile. I don't know. We'll come up with a nice name for it. But more to come. And with that, I'm going to keep rambling and just saying thank you if we don't stop.
Thank you.
Right? Thank you.
Thank you, Scrib.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Honestly, I've enjoyed
set up.
this. Yeah, no, it's all good. I've got corn dogs here, and my partner brought me a lovely festive beer that I've been sipping on. And I'm going to take advantage of some games in that Steam sale. So I'm about to go into my decompression and relaxation time as well. So I hope all of you find some moments, however few and far between, of peace and recuperation and relaxation during the holidays. It is a joyous time, but also can be a very stressful time. So please take care of yourselves. Enjoy the time that you have with your loved ones, whether in person or virtually, including pets and children, and whatever you need to do to help yourself feel recharged. I hope that you grant yourself that time. So with that, keep adventuring, keep scribbling, and we will see you in the new year. Happy holidays, happy new year, everyone. We love you guys. Bye.